So, hi, just jumping in. So, apparently we passed 40k subs. I was unaware. I thought we were still at 39k. Hello? What? I'm sorry? Let me go to my live sub count? Because, hold up. That's insane. Oh my god, we passed 40k. Let's go! Holy cow! Hello, everybody. What's up? How we doing? How's everyone going? What's up? Ked, Marlo, Magnus, General Knight, John, Garsamore, Marlo, William, Grim, Glory, Call Me Al, Osvaldo, Olive, Janelle, Shoggoth, Bob, Critical, Roofy, Drunkard, Anonymous, Obedient, Andrew, Elianis, Frostbitten, Dancing, Adrian, Keenan, Wiley, Cameron. What's up, everybody? How's it going? What's up, Milos? What's up, thank you for the congratulations. Holy cow. Second time catching a stream. Let's go. Strongfall, Starwolf, Jane, Juan, Kirk. There's so many of you in here today. Let's freaking go. Starting with over 100 is wild. I should turn that down at least. I might leave the music on. I might leave the music on. Just because this is such a chill stream. Because this is just like, I don't know, because this is not like me reading a book, like a usual stream. I'm not going to be sitting there reading a book or something. This is going to be me talking to you. So, like, I don't know if I should leave the music on or turn it off, right? I feel like the music gives it a little bit of a background. What's up, Sean? Good to see ya. Marion, Ninja. Need original name. What role do I need to make the Tickle GM? I don't believe that's a role. I believe that is a real-life check that you better hope you don't fail. You can scream for background. That's true. We could just get Diva Dragon in here and she can scream. This is me talking with Fab eye makeup. True. Still too loud? Alright, I can turn it down even farther. So it's a nice little amuse-bouche of music. Next time you read a book, could you do it with a fireplace background? I wish I could figure that out. Yo, what's up, Emmanuel? Good to see ya. Thomas, first time joining one of your live streams here. Been playing, catch up a lot of your older videos. There's a lot to catch up on. If you're just getting into like the system now, or just finding the channel, I think I've got over 400 videos at this point. There's a lot. They're not all worth watching, in my opinion, but there's a lot of good stuff out there. I have a green screen, but I don't have the lighting for a green screen. The music might be, I think it's changing, but I definitely did it a little too low. But, like, the lighting is so weird. I have the green screen, it's fancy, it works well enough, but I still can't get it perfect. Is there a doggo? Come here. You want to come say hi? Where's your toy? Can you show them what you got for adoption day? The 25th. Was that yesterday or the day before? 2 days ago was her gotcha day. And so it was like her birthday. Hey, can I show them your present? Can I show them the present I got you? Can we show them your present? Yeah? Yeah? So for her gotcha day, we got her a Game Boy. It's so perfect. And this is like the best brand of chew toy. Cause hi, hi. You wanna play with it? Yeah? Yeah, you wanna play with it? Hi. Come here. What's up? Yeah, there we go. Hi you. This is her favorite. This is literally her favorite thing. There she is. Go get it. So yeah, 1 year as of 2 days ago. She's a good girl. She'll bring me the toy back, but then she'll play keep away with it. Got it. You're a good girl. Anyway, we're here for Pathfinder, right? I forgot what I was doing. Made the mistake of making my first character an oracle. Ooh, for your first character, that's gonna be brutal. So what is this whole RPG thing? Is it like a board game? Yeah, it's like a board game, basically, with more rules. Alright. Excuse me. Amazing. It is like a board game, but you smooch the other players. That's true. How do you find paths? You roll perception to find a path. Yo, Dale with the $10 super chat. Thank you. Let me hear it.
Just starting with PF2E.
Oh, why is it double? You sound like a robot. It's cool. Why is it still double? Wait, why was it still double? I closed it. What? I don't know if that'll happen again. Just starting with PF2E, I want to run a low magic setting Middle Earth. Do I have any suggestions or links or resources for low magic? I'm trying to think. There's a variant rule for pervasive magic, which is the exact opposite of what you want. I don't think there's any direct variant rules for low magic. The default setting is like average magic with some high magic options. That's a good way to do it, honestly. Diva Dragon makes a good point. If you play with automatic bonus progression, the game is a lot more level. It's a lot, the difference between a level 1 and a 5 is a lot less staggering. It's more like Pathfinder 1st Edition. You know, so if you don't want your characters getting insanely powerful insanely quickly, and you want to keep everything sort of grounded more in reality, yeah, automatic bonus progression. Oh wait, what am I saying? Oh my god, I was thinking proficiency without level. God, you throw acronyms at me. That's proficiency without level. Diva Dragon does hate proficiency without level. If you like the way PF1 worked with a bounded accuracy like D&D 5, proficiency without level does work. I don't like it, but it works. Automatic bonus progression does let you get away with less magic items. Yo, we got cooperative waffles in chat. Let's go. Yeah, automatic bonus progression is as you level up, you automatically get certain types of weapon and armor runes permanently applied to your character. So that way you don't need to give them magical items and magical artifacts and magic stuff like that. They just get stronger without ruining the mechanics of the system. Proficiency without level does unbalance things, absolutely. This system is not designed with it in mind. But it does still work, you know. Anything works. But also, someone did see it, and I gotta do it to you. I gotta do it to you. Oh, but first we gotta answer Pixeled Core's $5. Yo, that's $5 Canadian dollars. I'm pretty sure that's like $1,000 US dollars. Never mind, it's $3.72. What on earth is a circumstance bonus? So, in case you're unaware, Pathfinder 2E has 3 types of bonuses, and penalties for that matter. There is circumstance, status, and item. 2 of those are pretty easily explained. An item bonus is given to you by an item. A status bonus is given to you by a status, like a spell or a condition. Like heroism is a status bonus to attack rolls. Clumsy is a status penalty to dexterity checks. Now, circumstance is a little more complicated and sort of a more catch-all term. A circumstance bonus is that due to the circumstances, you have this bonus. When you raise a shield, that is a circumstance bonus. Because the circumstance is that you are hiding behind your shield. When you take cover, that is a circumstance bonus because the circumstance is you being behind cover. Basically, if the circumstance is anything besides a magical item or a magical effect, that is what's giving a circumstance bonus. Hope that helps. Someone said something before and then I got completely... I mean, yeah, people like to say untyped exists, but untyped bonuses and penalties are so rare in Pathfinder 2E, I can never even think of one off the top of my head, honestly. How in the 7 hells are you keeping track of battle medicine immunity? Who healed who in the last 24 hours? So, I like to play it that each individual character can only be battle medicine once, not per character. Because yeah, if you have 4 party members, yo, thank you, Musical Boy 93, very generous, whoa! Why is it still doing it double? Why are you all robots? So I chose Sorcerer and had him cursed by a chaotic evil god. That's pretty cool, honestly. I like that a lot. It's a really clever way to do it. I'll get to that after this next donation, but I do have what I think is the best way to make a warlock. Hold on. I think I fixed it. Got it. Alright, we're back down to one single voice. Let's go. So I will get to that neat original name. Thank you, by the way. So my biggest advice, I think you can absolutely make a warlock that way with a cursed sorcerer. But personally, I would always go for witch. If people ask me how do I play a warlock in Pathfinder 2E, I always say witch. Not only does witch already come with a patron, like the exact same kind of thing as the Warlock in D&D 5e. They even get unique cantrips. The cool thing is it's not just Eldritch Blast. Depending on your patron, you get a unique cantrip. So rather than all Warlocks getting Eldritch Blast, if you're playing a Witch with a Frost patron, maybe your patron is a powerful Ice Elemental, you get the Clinging Ice cantrip. Hex. They're called hexes. But yeah, honestly, I think the Witch feels a lot better than the Warlock. They also are a full spellcaster instead of a partial spellcaster like the Warlock. They're not quite as unique as the Warlock. Like, they don't get invocations, but they do get a fair share of decent stuff. At face value, they feel very similar to a Wizard, but they have a lot of things that do give them their unique stuff. There is no Eldritch Blast in Pathfinder 2e. Probably, I mean, I guess they couldn't copyright the words Eldritch and Blast, so they're not copyrightable terms. Or probably just because Pathfinder doesn't want to copy them. I believe Witch is pretty good. Witch is really good for a starting character, yeah. You have a lot of room to explore yourself with roleplay because of familiars. Just familiars. All witches start with a familiar, which gives you an instant in when it comes to needing to roleplay. If you let your GM roleplay for your familiar, that can open a lot of doors for you. I think it's great.
Is the flexible spellcaster archetype a good idea for players coming from 5e's prepared casters?
I will get to you, Dan, in just a moment. I need to answer original names question, which was my wife has recently become interested in TTRPGs and I assume Critical Role lore, but is now afraid to actually play on the table. So that they're afraid to play an actual game. What can ease her fears? Make sure you're playing with friends. I would never recommend somebody's first game to be with strangers. If you play with friends, make sure everyone there has, like, they're chill. No one's gonna try to fact check or make sure she does everything right. Make sure she knows that mistakes are okay and she doesn't need to know the book cover to cover. She can just enjoy the game. At the end of the day, it's a game. Maybe make sure at least one person at the table knows how to play and can answer her questions if she has them. But yeah, I would say play with friends, make sure at least one person has decent experience, and just reinforce that it's a game. You might make mistakes, that's okay, doesn't matter. They're there to have fun with friends. It's much more a social experience than a game. You know, it's not like playing Monopoly. Is the flexible spellcaster archetype a good idea for players coming from 5e's prepared casters? Don't mind me, just I mean, I'm not looking up what flexible spellcaster does. That's ridiculous. Of course I know everything about this game, and I don't need to look anything up. That would just be ridiculous. Flexible spellcasting. Of course, the flexible spellcaster archetype, for those of you who aren't aware, it makes it so you cast fewer spells each day, and you also get less cantrips. But during daily preparations, you prepare a spell collection rather than preparing spells into each slot individually. I'm just reading out of the book. So yes, if you are the kind of person who... Let me take a step back. For those of you who don't know, prepared spellcasters, like a wizard, do not function the exact same way in Pathfinder as they do in D&D. And thank you for the donation, Thomas. I'll get to that in a minute. When you are a wizard, and you have 3 spell slots per day, let's say you know the spells Magic Missile, Burning Hands, and... We'll just say those two, Magic Missile and Burning Hands. At the start of each day, rules as written, you need to prepare 3 spells from those 2. It could be Magic Missile, Burning Hands. It could be Burning Hands, Burning Hands, Burning Hands. But technically, you are supposed to prepare an exact spell in every single one of your available slots. What the flexible spellcaster archetype does is gives you 1 spell less per day per spell level, but you no longer need to prepare specific slots. If you know Burning Hands and Magic Missile, you can cast Burning Hands or Magic Missile every single day. I believe it's a little deeper than that. You're only allowed to prepare a certain number of those spells per day, but they function more like a sorcerer where you can cast whatever's in that collection rather than just any spell you know. Would this be easier for D&D 5e players to grasp? Yes, but you would instantly make things more complicated because you would need to explain how it's an archetype to make them a flexible spellcaster and they're going to lose spells. I would say, if they're that worried about it, just let them cast spells like a sorcerer. Either convince them to play a sorcerer, or if they want to play a wizard, just let them cast from their spell book. It's not going to break the game that much. It'll make some feats useless. And if you let one player play like this, I recommend letting all your players play like this. It'll imbalance the wizard a little bit, because a lot of the wizard's power comes from that balance of needing to pre-prepare. But when it comes to the fun of enjoying and learning a game, I don't think it ruins it. Would I be okay if I wasn't at least trained in every skill? Yeah, don't feel the need to be trained in every skill. My barbarian that I'm playing, I think, is only trained in like 5 skills. There's a lot of cases. It's fun to be useless in some cases, because it gets your brain working. Thomas Collins, thank you for the $10 super chat. Do you have any advice on how to convert 5e content over to PF2? Bought a lot of third-party stuff that's become ubiquitous to my table, and I've abandoned 5e, but I don't want to leave the stuff behind. I really honestly wish there was a magic wand of do this one simple trick and you're set. It's just not that simple, unfortunately. Your best bet, if you want to be as accurate as possible, is to go through a monster maker. If you look up Battle Zoo, is it Battle Zoo? It's the contest. It's the Battle Zoo contest. Basically, there's a monster maker online on battlezoo.com. But there are ways that'll lead you through how to make a monster at a certain level. But no, unfortunately, due to the difference in math between the two systems, did I not turn off the Pennywise notification? Oops. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any really easy advice for that. Once you learn the proficiency system, you will be able to get away with, a lot of the times, copying and pasting ability scores of monsters, and then giving them a proficiency with their weapons. So in D&D, if a monster has a +5 to hit because they have a 20 strength, we'll take that 20 strength over to the Pathfinder. That's still a +5. And if they're like a level 7 monster, give them master proficiency. So suddenly you have 6 from master, 5 from strength, and 7 from level. And you've got an 18, a +18 to attack. It's annoying. It's really kind of, there's no easy way to do it, unfortunately. It's like trying to convert a sentence in English directly into a sentence in Chinese. There's no direct one-to-one way to do it. Thank you, Musical Boy 93. I created a chaotic evil cat god who cursed my character and turned him into a Nekomimi. As a result, he's lazy, sleeps a lot, and is chaotic neutral. If he were a witch, could this god be his patron? Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I don't actually know what a Nekomimi is. It sounds like some kind of cat, maybe a lazy fat cat. But yes, 100%, gods make great patrons for witches, especially because there's different types of witch patrons. You know, there's the fate patron, there's the frost patron, there's the other patrons. I don't play witches, but they have like 10 different options. Depending on your god, oh, it is a cat girl, okay. Depending on each god, a lot of different gods could work for a lot of different patrons, you know? You could have a witch with a frost patron, and the patron is Gozra, the true neutral god of nature, just because nature is cold, you know? Gozra does technically control the temperature a little bit of nature. Not control it, but you know what I mean. So yeah, you can absolutely get very creative with it. Yo, thank you, Brendan, for the $2 super chat. And I see you roll for combat. Hello. Let me catch up and we'll get to that one. In case y'all don't know, Roll for Combat, also here on YouTube. They are the creators of the Battle Zoo Bestiary, and that whole line of products. The Battle Zoo website I was just talking about earlier with the Monster Builder. That's them. If you look up Roll for Combat on YouTube, they should pop right up. They've been freaking working this past month. The purpose of this tip is to remind people that Nonat Ones has very pointy canines. Look. Just because my teeth... Here. You know what? Let me just make everyone as uncomfortable as possible here. Let me make everyone uncomfortable. I guess I'm my teeth. Hold on. Ew. Alright, take it back. There we go. I had spinach in my teeth. Just because my teeth are sharp doesn't mean anything. And there goes chat with the vampire. See what you do? You see what you do, Anonymous? Thank you everyone for the donations so far. Holy cow. Alright, Roll for Combat with a $10 super chat. What is your favorite PF2 class, ancestry, spell, and magic item? I'm just saying, that sounds like 4 questions, and it kind of feels like cheating. Favorite class lately? My favorite class... Alright. Am I allowed to say this? Am I allowed to say this in front of, Am I allowed to... Alright. When I play Pathfinder 2E, my favorite class is Fighter. There! I said it! Are you happy? It's Fighter. There's so much... It's so fun to crit on a 16, okay? I'm so basic. I'm a simple man. I like rolling the d20. I like hitting on a 2. There's nothing to it. I'm sorry. I still hate them. They're both my favorite, and they're my favorite class to play, and my least favorite class in the system. Make sense of that. I love villain origin story. Yes, tiny tiefling, human fighter. Yeah, so I've played, I want to say I've played 3 fighters in PF2. My longest running one was Binjoka. He was my human fighter, Oracle archetype, Eldritch Archer archetype. It was a free archetype game. And so let me tell you, fighter accuracy with Eldritch Archer is disgusting. It's awful. The other 2 fighters, it's been a long time. I honestly don't even remember them. I think they were for like one-offs and stuff. But yeah, I love fighters. They're simple, they're fun. I quite enjoy them. Favorite spell? Honestly, I love Magic Missile. Call me basic. I am basic, you know? Full-on basic boy. Magic Missile's fun. With the 1, 2, 3 action version, I think Magic Missile is great. I still need to finish work on... I have a build that I worked on 2 years ago. And now that there's a bunch of new stuff out, I need to work on it some more. For a Magic Missile machine gun build. Like, yeah, there's the Wand of Manifold Missiles, but that'll never be as high level as your highest level. Then again, neither will this. So my build concept for this is a Staff Nexus Wizard who, because of the whole Staff Nexus subclass, sacrifices their highest level spell slots just for as many level 1 and level 2 magic missiles as possible. I think it was like by level 5, you can have like 10 plus casts of magic missile a day. And that's on top of like having a wand, having the Wand of Manifold Missiles, all that stuff. Oh, it's great. I love it. Are there any one-action cantrips? Yes, Guidance. Okay, favorite... okay, I gotta get... Favorite Ancestry and Magic item. Favorite Ancestry is Gnomes. Pathfinder 2E Gnomes are just arbitrarily the best. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Paizo does. Favorite Magic item? Ugh. There's so... On the top of my head... I've got a cool cloak right now. It's the... I don't remember what it's called, but it gives you like a +1 on diplomacy checks. And like, I think it's also Intimidation. It's just a cloak that makes you really cool and fancy and people like you more. And I have it on my freaking Barbarian and it's been a blast. I love that one. Although, actually, no, that's not my favorite though. My favorite would probably be the cantrip decks. I've never gotten to use one, but I really want to use a cantrip deck. Where you just get to pull the card out and it has one use of 15 different cantrips. Super fun. Kennerth Kentelainen? I don't know, I'm bad with names. Thank you for the super chat. First time GM and players for PF2E, only played 5e. I have 6 players, and I'm considering allowing free archetype, but is there a risk of 2 strong PCs that will step on each other's toes? Not even a little bit. So the reason free archetype works so well is because archetypes themselves are already roughly 2 to 4 levels weaker than an equivalent class feat. So think of it this way. When you play with free archetype, you're giving your players 1 extra feat from 2 to 4 levels ago. So when they hit level 6, and they get basic wizard spell casting from the archetype, they get a 1st level spell. That's it. Maybe it's 2nd level by level 6, I don't know the exact levels. But yeah, it is incredibly well balanced, and to the point where even if you have a player who's playing a wizard, and somebody else takes the wizard archetype, that archetype will never come close to the full-blooded wizard. because at that same level, level 6, where they just got a first level spell slot, that wizard is casting 3rd level spells, probably with a higher intelligence. So yeah, do not worry about free archetype. The only thing you would worry about is overcomplicating the game for your first time players. But if they're ready to take the research and learn how to work with it, I say go for it. There's no risk of breaking the game with archetypes. I don't think I've found a single build with an archetype that like ruins the game in any way. The most I've been able to do is a fighter with the druid archetype with a +2 to hit. That is the best I've been able to do. I don't think I said it, but Brendan Thompson, thank you for the $2 super chat. No message though. Same with Odrin, $10 super chat, no message. Thank you all just for the generous donations, incredibly nice. Spartan, unscribing for my hot take about liking fighters. Good. Diva Dragon, $6 super chat, donating $1 more than Spartan to prove I'm better than them. True. I mean, unless Spartan comes back with a $7 super chat, like, you're winning. Mark with a $10 super chat. PF2 seems to be quite overwhelming with a lot of rules in a lot of areas. How do you recommend being prepped as a GM for the first game without slowing it down too much? Learn the basics. The absolute bare minimum basics. Learn how an average round of combat works. Learn how skill checks work. Know the basics of your players' character sheets. Just so like they know how to read it and you can help them if they need it. Don't waste your time, trying to memorize how a long jump works, how a high jump works, exactly how bone mow works for your first session. When it comes up, do one of two things. If you think you can get an answer within 30 seconds by flipping open to the right page, go for it. If someone says, I would like to use bone mow, what does that do? I don't remember, but it's on this page. Open the page or go to Archives of Nethys, boom, you solved it. If someone says, I want to use bone mow, what does that do? I don't know. I don't even know what it is. It's just on my sheet. Leave it. Just leave it. Write down a little note and say, we'll look it up after the session. If it's something that you don't even know where to start looking for it, look it up after the session. This goes for a lot of things. Anytime you run into a rule that you don't know the answer for and you don't even know where to start looking for it, learn it after the session. Then, it won't slow down the current session. Just make something up on the spot that you need to. If someone says, I want to jump across that 10-foot chasm, and you don't know how to set a long jump DC, just say roll athletics. You got, a 17? That's enough. And then, after the session, look up how a long jump works. That is the best way to learn the system without slowing your game down. You always learn something after, but you still enjoy the game in its moment. Obviously, if it's something that's going to have, recursive effects down the line, if someone asks, how does Fireball work? You don't just say, just deal 37 damage to everybody and we'll look it up later. That's something you should definitely look up how it works if it's going to keep coming up as part of a core character concept. I hope that helped. Spartan with a $7 bet. Oh, man. Sure. See, here's the thing. If you and Diva were strangers, I would 100% play this up. It'd be like, yeah, all right, come on, Diva, where's your $8? Beat him. But because you are my friends, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Jericho with a $10 super chat. As a sorcerer main in D&D 5e, what caster class would you recommend starting with? I would recommend either sorcerer. Sorcerers are incredibly similar between 5e and 2e. The only difference in 2e is that you get what are called focus spells, and you're going to get those with pretty much any class. Alternatively, let me see, what else would be a really, really good... I see you, Diva. I see you, Diva Dragon, the corner of my eye. I'm trying to think what else... Alchemist, Barbarian, Bard... Bard, actually. If you like Sorcerer, you will also enjoy Bard in Pathfinder 2e. Bards cast spells the exact same way as Sorcerers, but they have slightly different focus spells, like Inspire Courage and whatnot. So definitely look into Bard. You might enjoy it, especially if you want to play a more supportive caster. But if you want to go full Destruction Derby, you might still want to go Sorcerer. What's the difference between magic items and alchemical items? Alchemical items do not have the magical trait. Alchemical items often don't interact with the planes or any kind of inherent magical effect, Rather, they are alchemical. It's what it says on the tin. When you throw an alchemist's fire bomb, there's nothing magical about its explosion. You're not conjuring fire to detonate. It is a mixture of chemicals that, when they impact, engulf in flames. For that reason, alchemical items can get past some really cool game mechanics. For example, if you are undead, or you feed a zombie an elixir of life, I believe it still heals them, because it is not positive healing. When you heal someone using magic, you are using positive energy to mend their wounds. When you heal someone using alchemy, it is scientifically accelerating the mending of their wounds. So because it is not inherently positive, it does not hurt the undead. Someone correct me if I'm wrong with the zombie example, but I believe that's how it works, is an elixir of life can heal anybody, a potion of healing can only heal the living. Undead are immune to healing. Okay, so it's only for undead PCs. Yo, thank you for all the super chats. Holy cow. I hope that helped, Anonymous. Postal John. Who is the best Pathfinder 2E deity and why is it Urgathoa? Alright, low-key, Urgathoa is pretty freaking rad. I have a subplot in one of my campaigns, which has sadly been on a hiatus. Thank you, Arturo. Appreciate it. The campaign's been on hiatus, but one of my players is being stalked by a cult of Urgathoa. And it has been fun. Oh boy. Yo, Craig with the $20. Thank you. But I don't think Urgathoa is the best one. Obviously, the best is Caden Kalayan. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. Paizo does. The Wholesome Cultist, speak of the devil, more of a question about the channel than Pathfinder, but will you cover more Starfinder at some point? Mayhaps. I can't promise anything, and definitely not in the near future, unfortunately. The test I did with the Solarian class guy just did not pull the numbers I needed it to. So I'm still in a place, and maybe that'll change in the near future, but I'm still currently in a place where every single view counts, and a video that, it's hard. You know, if I was in a position where I was one of those YouTubers making, you know, 6 figures a month, like, then sure, I'd be making whatever I want. Starfinder would be a ton of fun. But right now, I'm sort of in a position where if a video bombs and doesn't get the views I need, I make less money per hour. Imagine you worked a shift flipping burgers, and then because the restaurant wasn't as busy that day, your hourly wage went down. It's really rough, and so you'd want to work on the busier days, because that makes it so you make more money. So that's where I'm at right now. I've always said, if I get to a point where I can just talk about anything and still make rent and everything, that is the dream. But for now, no, it'll be Pathfinder mainly forward right now. I've got a lot to catch up on. Diva Dragons, $10. You're afraid to play this up because you know I'll send you more Steam games. I like games, but you've also sent me 3 of them that I haven't even been able to open yet, damn it! Tiny Tiefling, I'll put down a... I'm sorry, Tiny Tiefling, right before you got that in, Diva dropped 10, I'm sorry. Yo, Alex in here dropping some memberships, let's go! Congrats to Bob, Red Oak, John, Abandonment, and Patrick. Welcome to the party, glad to have you. Yo, Travis with a big 50 bomb. Damn, let's go. What's up? Y'all are freaking awesome today. Thank you. Would you support Words of Power from 1E in 2E? I don't know what that is, Mark. Let me see real fast. Words of Power PF1. Primal Form of Magic. A word caster. What is it? Complicated subsystem. Oh, is this like the Orbs of Power almost? Oh, this is like spell creation. Interesting. So this is like create a spell. As a variant rule, I think that'd be fantastic. I would love a variant rule. I would love a variant rule like that. Absolutely. That would be a ton of fun. Also, with regards to what Alex just dropped, the 5 gifted memberships there, if you're ever looking to donate to the channel, that is a fantastic way to do it. I would almost argue it's my preferred way over a super chat or a tip. Because it gets more people involved, it gets more people that membership status, which gets those cool colored names. I'm working on some badges. Diva reminded me to message you about that because I want to, and I want to pay you for it. So I want to give you the money you've given me back to you so you can do work for me. Craig with the $20. Love your content. Keep doing what you're doing. Just finished a 6-year first edition campaign. Holy God! All right, Alex. Well done. Damn! Alright. Yes, just like that, thank you. Welcome, Zane, Cinderheart, Justin, Callie, Raul, Brackham getting a membership. Let's go! Maybe a cat got one! Q, Rakame, Jacob. Whoo, whoo, whoo. Welcome to the party, everybody. So much blue and green. Starting with players with PF2 next week. Oh, that's gonna be fun, Craig. It's gonna be fun. Just remember, it's a different game. A lot of people get upset at some Pathfinder 2E stuff because it's different than it used to be in PF1. So just don't get mad just because it's different. Give it a shot and try to get used to it first. Once you've gotten used to it and you've got it's natural, then you're allowed to complain about it. Anthony Peterson with a $2 super chat. Love your work. Thank you. Can you do Galarian lore videos? At some point, yeah, I want to. So, fun fact. I had a video scripted and half recorded about a week and a half before the OGL, everything exploded, along with some family issues. That was going to be posted within a month, and without spoiling anything, it was a Galarian lore video. About what? I don't want to say, because I'll get to it eventually. And it may be coming sooner than you think. I won't say, next week, but you might get some, Galarian lore in the near future. Yo, let's go, Diva! Flexing that 3-month level 10 membership. Hell yeah. Drowning in lore. Dylan Hunter with $10. Howdy, thanks for all your content. It's been a huge help getting into this system. Do you have a favorite PF2 actual play podcast? I wish I did. Unfortunately, I can't listen to actual play podcasts. Something about them just bore me to tears. I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're low quality. I've been a part of a few. I just don't find them enjoyable. They just make me wish I was playing instead. You know, I'd rather play a video game or watch a TV show rather than just listen to an actual play. And nothing against people who enjoy listening to them. I totally get it. Getting invested into a world with people playing a game just like you is cool. Unfortunately, it just doesn't resonate with me, as it were. I have so much to catch up on. Jacob Sharp. I'm switching from 5e and I'm a GM. I've got 5 players and I plan on giving everyone a free archetype. How do you learn to homebrew monster stat blocks? What level do you give runes and other similar stuff? I'll start with the easy question there. Runes, and all magic items for that matter, have a level. If you look at weapon potency, I believe it says item 2. That is a general guideline for what level a player should be when you give them that magic item. If a specific magic weapon says item 6, it's meant to be given to a level 6 character. Now, you can give it to them a little bit early, and they'll really enjoy the power boost. It typically won't be game-breaking if they're 1 or 2 levels below. But for the most part, when in doubt, give it to them at the level described on the item. Oh my goodness. Let's catch up, let's catch up, let's catch up. Brandon with another $10 super chat, no message, thank you. That big I only just now got to that Travis $50 bomb. There's all the memberships. Ravelord Nito. Ravelord. $5 super chat. In your experience playing PF2, how often do you get caught in the weeds of crunchy math and game systems? How much do you think it slows sessions down? Your first 1 or 2 sessions, a little bit. The first 1 or 2 sessions will be some questions. When you have a new player, it'll slow you down. But I'll say it never slowed me down any more than my first 5th edition sessions did. It's just learning new rules, same way you learn rules and learn how to do anything. Nowadays, especially because this is my job, I almost hate myself, because someone will just be like, hold on, I'm trying to figure out my attack roll. And I'll be like, you're a level 4 fighter. with an 18 strength. That means your expert proficiency +4 +5. That's +13 to attack. Like, it just spews out of me because I know everything off the top of my head. So even when people aren't necessarily asking for how something works, it just vomits out because part of me wants to keep the game rolling, and another part of me assumes they're going to ask. I hate it. It's like my least favorite side effect of doing this for my job. When someone's just like, yeah, let me just look up how to make a long jump real quick. I'm like, DC equals to the distance. Roll athletics. But overall, no, the math has never slowed a game down. I have never had more than a 10-second pause of someone trying to think of, did I raise my shield last turn? That's about it. And very rarely. It's really, really easy. Postal John, looking at... Oh, sorry, I didn't answer someone's... I did not answer someone's question. Oh my god, rewind back to Jacob Sharp. How do you learn to homebrew monster stat blocks? I said this earlier, but I will reiterate it. There is no magic number or magic formula you can plug a monster into right now. It's really unfortunate, but if you do want to try to maybe save time, your best bet will be to find the closest thing. A lot of monsters in D&D 5e also exist in Pathfinder 2nd edition. You know, if you're fighting a Manticore in 5e, there's a Manticore in PF2. It's not copyright. If you're fighting something like an Illithid, sure, you're going to need to make a stretch or find something as close as possible. But I'll say 60-70% of the time, if it's in D&D 5e, it's also in Pathfinder 2nd edition. But otherwise, no. If you're trying to completely... You did not say convert. You said homebrew. I can read. Homebrewing monsters. Oh, let me put it in chat. Let me put it in chat real quick. Battle Zoo Monster Maker. RPG Superstar. That's the one. I'm gonna put this in chat real quick. If any of you have ever wanted help making a monster, click that link. You'll need to sign up, but then there's a create a monster button, and that'll take you to a place where you can pick a. There's like 6 types of monsters, like Striker, Defender, Brute, and stuff like that. That'll give you a suggested layout. You can edit it as needed, and it'll give you advice on what you should do for the monster. It'll help you out a lot. Anyway, where was I? Postal John, looking at monsters' AC and attack bonuses, it looks like getting hit is the norm in combat, and AC is just to determine if you get crit or not. Or am I missing something? No, you're really not. Armor class in Pathfinder 2e is not about dodging attacks. It is about preventing critical hits. That's what makes the champion so good, and the monk for that matter, is they're still going to get hit. They're going to get hit a lot. But they are very rarely going to get critically hit, you know? When you've got a 20 armor class at level 1 with your shield raised, sure, a monster might have a +7 or 8 to hit. That means they're gonna hit you on a 12 or a 13, like 60-70% of the time, or like 40-50% of the time, but they're almost never going to crit you. They could roll a 19 and get that +8. That's still only a 26. That's not even coming close to your AC of 20, beating it by 10. So, yeah, AC prevents crits, and crits are so much worse than normal hits. Like, I know they deal double damage, which, by the way, in case you're unaware, crits are more devastating in PF2 than 5e. Rules as written in D&D 5e, I believe you only double the dice. You don't double the modifier. Pathfinder 2e, you double everything. You double sneak attack, you double strength mod, you double weapon specialization. A good crit from like a barbarian at level 1 is dealing 20 to 25 damage. That's gonna kill anything. Wait a second, we have an uptime command? Interesting. There's all the... Okay, Jericho with another generous $20. God, y'all are insane. What's the difference between water damage and cold damage in 2e? They're traits. There is no water damage. There's a water trait, but there's not water damage. They are separate. 95% of the time, traits do not do anything directly, but things might interact with a trait. For example, I believe there are certain abilities that deal bonus damage to creatures with the water trait, or that will grant you extra damage on spells with the water trait. However, most water spells, like Hydraulic Push, I think that's the name of it, they deal bludgeoning damage. You know, any spell that conjures a wave of water to hit somebody, it's going to be bludgeoning damage. However, something like Ray of Frost, which also has the cold trait, still deals cold damage. It's the same way there's no air damage, but there is electric damage. So some things are both traits and damage types, but some things are also just traits. Typically, I think the only example I can think of that is directly one-to-one is the fire trait dealing fire damage. Otherwise, typically water will deal bludgeoning or cold, air will deal bludgeoning or electric, and earth will typically just deal bludgeoning. That sounds so much more complicated than the way I worded it, but TLDR, just focus on the damage type, not the trait, unless something specifically calls out the trait. Let's see. Brendan Thompson with a $10 super chat. So my favorite class in 5e is an evocation wizard because they're blasty to groups, and if you play with the one roll for magic missile, they destroy single targets after level 10. Wasn't that proven as not rules as intended? Like, it was rules as written and broken, but I don't know. What is their PF2 equivalent? Evocation wizards. Wizards still get a preferred school in PF2, and one of those schools is evocation, and even cooler than that, they get unique spells at levels 1 and 8, I think. And so they get Force Bolt, which is just a single action magic missile focus spell, which is some nice cheap damage that'll never miss. And then I think their higher level one is like an AoE explosion of force. What was the higher level one? Evocation, wizard, focus spells. I should go to arcane schools. Arcane schools. Nephthys is being slow. But yeah, no, there's nothing quite as broken as the old, like, +1 damage per missile of Magic Missile forever. It's Elemental Tempest, that's what it is. Thank you, Raul. But no, they're still amazing at destroying groups, don't get me wrong. They still have your Fireball, they still have your Lightning Bolt, they have all your classic melting spells that do crazy damage. But there's no broken exploits like that. Let's see. Jacob Sharp, thank you. You're my go-to Pathfinder YouTuber. Thank you, Jacob. I don't know why that still gets me. People have been saying that for like 2 years, and it still gets me all the clements. Ugh. Holy cow. Dragon Master sent $5 super chat. What is the stinkiest class, JK? Actual question. Is there any class you would not recommend oracles? It may seem cool. It may seem awesome to be a charisma-based divine caster who has a curse and a mystery, and the more you use your magic, the worse your curse gets, like your freaking Sasuke from Naruto. Don't play an oracle for your first class. Please. Please. Unless you want to do like an hour of research. If you learn how it works and you're fine with doing the research, and you're not going to just... Like, if you don't complain about it being complicated, and you go in knowing it's complicated... Sure, go for it. I'm never going to tell you don't play a character. Just be warned. It is the most complicated class in the game. Rogues are only stinky because they're good at everything. How would you replicate a Hexblade Warlock? Devilham? Magus. There's a class called the Magus, which is basically if the Hexblade Warlock was its own entire class. The Magus has something called Spell Strike, where for 2 actions, they make an attack roll with a melee weapon and cast a spell into their weapon. So, if you have, say, Scorching Ray, and you have a longsword, for 2 actions, you put Scorching Ray into your longsword, and then hit the target. You only roll once for your attack roll, and if the attack hits, you deal both the weapon's damage and the Scorching Ray damage. It's busted, and I love it. Biggest thing with the Magus, though, is it's very risk versus reward. Because of how the action system works in PF2, they are what's called, I guess, they have a heavy action tax. It's 2 actions to use Spell Strike, but it's a 3rd action to recharge that Spell Strike. So, if you need to recharge it at all, you can't move that turn. Otherwise, you don't have enough actions, because you only get 3 actions per turn. So Magus is the highest risk versus reward gameplay in the game. They have the potential to deal the single highest one-hit damage in the entire game, but beware the risks. If you miss that spell strike, you've basically lost a turn. Alright. Been playing PF2E since the core rulebook came out, but I have a question. On a critical hit, does damage bonus for weapon specialization double? Yes. On a critical hit, everything is doubled. Like, I cannot think of anything that doesn't double on a crit. But let's settle this here, actually. I'm still waiting for more questions to come in. So, critical hit PF2E. If you critically succeed at a strike, your attack deals double damage. Let's click on double damage. Sometimes you'll need to have or double an amount of damage, such as when the outcome of your strike is a critical hit. When this happens, you roll the damage normally, adding all modifiers, bonuses, and penalties, then double or half the amount as appropriate. Your GM might also allow you to roll the dice twice and double the modifiers, bonuses, and penalties. Boom. That is on page 451 of the core rulebook. Yeah, deadly, I guess, yeah, you're right. Deadly is the one thing that does not get doubled. Deadly is added after the doubling. But yeah, persistent damage. If you have a weapon that inflicts persistent damage, that is also doubled. Critical hits, like I said, are devastating in this system. 1d6 plus 2 can suddenly deal 14 damage on a crit. 16 damage. I saw someone, new player, when reading up on a class, what's the best order to start digesting all the options? Focus on level 1 first. Level 1 will always give you the general base of your class. From there, you can start looking at the different feats, but always just look at that little progression chart and make sure you understand how each level 1 feature works. You know, if you're playing a fighter, make sure you understand how attack of opportunity works, shield block works, and whichever level 1 feat you pick works. Especially for spellcasters and some fancier things like the Inventor, level 1 is usually the thickest part of the class, but once you have read it enough and you understand level 1, going forward is usually really simple. Level 1 is based, Grim. You are totally right. I have eyeliner because I'm a theater kid, period. Full stop. I'm not a vampire, okay? Thank you. How do general lore versus specific lore checks work for different monsters? So, each monster, if you look on Archives of Nethys, has a specific lore skill. If you're fighting a dire wolf, it'll say Recall Knowledge, Nature, 15. That means you need to roll the nature lore to get a 15. Now, let's say you have a player, thank you Grizzly Master for the $2 super chat. Let's say you have a player who doesn't have trained in nature, but let me see if I can make something up here. But they do have, you know, I guess like religion lore. Technically, you could let them roll that if they really wanted to. If you wanted to humor them and they say, "Can I roll religion to identify this wolf?" Then you could be like, "You can try," because you can roll any skill for any DC. However, the farther away from the general idea it is, the harder the DC is. So if my player was like, "Can I roll religion to identify this basic freaking direwolf?" I'd be like, "Sure." But instead of a 15 DC, like it was with nature, I'm going to make it a 23. You need to roll a 23 or higher. And if they succeed, I'll pull something out of my butt like, "You remember studying on a religion, a small cult-like religion of less than 200 members who worship the wolves of a forest, and this creature's description lines up with the exact type of wolf they would worship, which is in fact a dire wolf." Can I roll athletics? You cannot, because that is not a lore skill. I'm not a Twilight vampire, Barry, though I will take that as a compliment on my looks. Can you tell how and when to use focus points? Excellent question. So, Darpoon, I think it's about half the classes in the game. Most if not all spellcasters, and some martial classes start the game with special spells known as focus spells. The second you get a focus spell from any source, you also get a pool of 1 focus point. In order to cast a focus spell, you spend a focus point. Think of it like a spell slot, not even temporary. Think of it like a different type of spell slot. The difference between a focus point and a spell slot is that if you spend just 10 minutes doing an action called refocusing, which just means you're not doing anything else. You are sitting down, you're thinking, you're just focusing, you get that point back. While a spell slot requires a full night's rest, a focus point requires only 10 minutes. They're typically a little bit weaker than spell slots, and Alex drops another 5 freaking memberships, thank you. But they're very much reusable. That's why you will very rarely find things like healing focus spells. They're out there. Like the Champion's Lay on Hands. They're out there, but they're very limited, very weak, and very few and far between. Welcome, Dalek Reject, Hector, Mr. Nugget Z, Keenan, and Laquacious. Welcome to the party. Any advice for former 5e DMs? Try not to let your D&D, not mannerisms is the wrong word, but things you take for granted in 5e either might not exist or work differently in PF2. Rather than instantly getting frustrated because it's different, give it a chance, try to learn it and understand it, and then reevaluate once you understand how it works in the context of the system. It's very easy to look at something and be upset because it's different, even if it feels like the old way should work. But don't let those preconceptions from playing D&D 5e get in the way of learning Pathfinder 2nd Edition. What do you think of a surprise round for Pathfinder like the 1 in 5e? I hate surprise rounds. Surprise rounds are not fun. They make sense. They exist. If you get the drop on somebody, they absolutely make sense. But let me tell you, unless it is a very small encounter, and your party of 4 gets a surprise round on 2 enemies, it slows the game down. It really slows the game down. I'll say, giving a surprise round, even if it's not a thing in the rules, a lot of people use them, giving a surprise round to your players is fine. Do not... Single action surprise rounds are great. Single action surprise rounds, I will vouch for those. But never, I would almost say, never give your enemies a surprise round. Because you know what that leads to? Especially if imagine, I'm speaking from experience here. I'll just tell the story. I was playing in a 5e one-shot with 7 players, and I rolled a nat 1 on initiative in a surprise round against 9 velociraptors. So you know what I got to do? I got to sit there while 9 velociraptors took a turn. Then we went back to the top of initiative. 9 velociraptors and my 6 allies took a turn. And then I got to go. I did not get a turn in combat for 45 minutes. And then the fight was over 2 or 3 turns later. It was miserable. Rory, do only rogues get to use stealth for initiative? No, this is a really cool thing in Pathfinder 2e. If you are ever doing something before initiative is rolled, or the moment initiative is rolled, you can try to make a claim to your GM for you to roll something else. If the fight hasn't technically started, but you're already in the middle of grappling, you have someone in a chokehold, you can absolutely say, GM, can I roll athletics for initiative because I'm already doing it? If you are hiding in a bush, can I roll stealth for initiative? That's how it works. And this works for if you ever do initiative-based roleplay situations. If you are the face of the party, and you're the one who's been talking the whole time, but you've been lying through your teeth, and you need to roll initiative for a society-based roleplay situation, you can roll diplomacy for initiative. Someone said something else. Where was it? Big question. Is a braggart swashbuckler performs a last stand, would they say, your mother, and immediately die? They wouldn't immediately die, but they would fall unconscious. They would say, your mother. Any archetype that you think would complement a Cosmos Oracle? Ooh. I think Chrono Skimmer would be cool. Literally all about time and space. I think that would make for a great character concept. Just transitioning to PF2 from 5e because of the issues and binging a lot of your videos as a beginner. Love your content. Oh, there's no question in there. Thank you, Marcello. I appreciate that. Why are so many martial feats exclusive to the fighter? Because the fighter doesn't have a subclass. The reason the fighter gets so many more feat selections is because that is their subclass. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Dragon Master. When you pick a fighter, all you get is shield block and attack of opportunity. That's it. When you pick a barbarian, you get, you get your first level feat, but you also get your bonus rage damage. You get your special type of bonus rage damage. You might get some special abilities like shape-shifting from your animal instinct, or wielding a giant weapon and getting clumsy from a giant instinct. The fighter is a build-your-own subclass. The monk is actually the exact same way. They don't pick something at level 1, rather their subclass is determined by the feats they choose. Dragon Master asks, how is high-level PF2 versus 5e? It works. It works really well. I just watched your fighter vid, you said almost verbatim what you said in that video. Let's go, consistency. PF2 high level works incredibly well. I just played like a level 10 one-shot, I think, which I know is technically only mid-level. But because of the nature of the math, in case anyone here watching is unaware, proficiency in Pathfinder 2e is very different from 5e. Proficiency is either trained, expert, master, or legendary, which translates into +2, +4, +6, or +8. You also add your level. So, the difference between a level 2 person who's trained, that's only +4, compared to a level 18 character who is legendary, that's +24. So, when you are a high level, the numbers are much bigger, but because of that, you're not restricted by this weird bounded accuracy where, because of a couple magic items, a level 20 monster can't hit a level 6 character. Rather, a level 20 monster versus a level 20 character is a decent fight, and that level 20 character is never getting touched by anything level 12 or lower. So yes, because of the math and the way it scales with character and monster level, it works incredibly well. You just hit level 16 with your group and it runs smoothly. Good to hear. Legendary at 18 would be 26, not 24. You're correct. Math. Are there any feats or class features that, like Polearm Master, let me make attack of opportunity against a creature coming into my reach? No. You can still ready an action, which is you spend 2 actions to ready 1 action and spend your reaction on it. So you could say, I'm spending 2 actions to ready a strike against someone who enters my reach. That is valid, but I don't believe there are any direct feats that let you attack of opportunity as they move in. Typically, attack of opportunity, which also, attack of opportunity is different in PF2 as well. For those of you who don't know, take a shot every time I say for those of you who don't know. In PF2, attack of opportunity is not automatic. Not everybody has attack of opportunity. You might remember, yes, you could ready a flurry of blows, because it's 1 action. It might be a flourish, so maybe not. Don't quote me on that. But you might hear me saying that fighters get attack of opportunity. Pathfinder 2 E-Box, Nonat 1s, what? Only fighters start with attack of opportunity. Anyone else who wants it, it's usually a level 6 feat for some classes. So just having attack of opportunity is its own benefit. To get a better one is really hard to do. Shots of water, yes. Would you let a new group look at character options outside of the core rulebook? I would say only if they fully understand that it's going to be more complicated, go ahead and let them. But if they expect for them all to be just as simple as the core rulebook, no. Don't it depends on the player. You know, I have friends who have never played PF2, but they've been playing RPGs for 20 years. Then yeah, I think they would be able to handle it. Chase with a $10 super chat, thank you. Many 5e players think that Pathfinder 2e's numbers get too high. I disagree. Like, sure, you're allowed to not like the big numbers, and a lot of people are convinced that it will make the game harder because the math gets harder. But, like, 10 plus 15 is not that much harder than 10 plus 5, you know? Like, the difference in math is not that much. Maybe it'll take you a quarter second longer to remember to add that extra 10 in there. But overall, you're still just getting a number and trying to be higher than another number. It's not like you're rolling it, adding your bonuses, then subtracting things between them, and, like, it's really not that complicated. At the end of the day, it's two bigger numbers instead of two smaller numbers, and it's not any more complicated. Which class do you think is most complicated in Pathfinder 2e? Oracle. You are severely overestimating my math ability. Well, if you struggle, you can still use something like Foundry or Roll20, I guess. Because, like, that's the thing, is a lot of people who play 5e use the automatic math tools anyway. Like, that is a really big backfire of a complaint, is people are already using, I would argue more people are using automated math via Foundry and virtual tabletops than not using it. So using the big math, even as a complaint in the first place, is kind of redundant. A 20 in 5e is like a 30 in PF2e? Not directly, no. There's no real comparison there. Yo, Chase dropping another 10. Holy cow. I'm so glad to hear you say that's not that much harder to do the math. It's not. It's not. 17 plus 15 is 32. 17 plus 4 is 21. They're just about as hard as each other. What subclass is good for a support druid? I'm a big fan of the, I think it's plant? Is it plant? Leaf? It's the order that's all about nature. What are your thoughts on Disarm as written? Garbage! But there may or may not be a third-party content coming out in the next 6 months that would, you know, maybe makes Disarm a little bit more useful. Recommend the Pathfinder 2e Beginner's Box? I recommend the Pathfinder 2e Beginner's Box. It's great. I'm running it twice this weekend. It's going to be awesome. Leaf Ninja. Sinclair's, you know it. Big thing to remember is that PF2 is heroic fantasy, whereas 5e is just fantasy. Yeah, I would agree. I think both systems can be used to tell both kinds of stories. You can still be high fantasy in D&D. But yeah, no, it is definitely, this is a high fantasy world. By level 8, you are incredibly strong. Yo, Zalibrius with a $20 super chat. Can I hear it?
All suffering / causing multi-attack penalties. Why would I make it harder for me to deal more damage in a round to attempt it?
So Zalibrius, the argument for that is that grappling, shoving, and tripping are not for you. I've said this in a lot of my videos, and it's always worth repeating. Pathfinder 2e is about teamwork. Also beyond that, it's about action economy. When you trip an enemy, they're going to need to spend an action standing up, meaning they only have 2 actions left. On top of that, anyone who attacks them, they're going to be flat-footed. Sure, it's only a -2 for... It's only a -2 and you're giving yourself a -5, but you're giving your allies a -2, which can mean so much more. And especially with grappling, being able to hold them in place, especially if they can't escape, and shoving to reposition them so that someone else can get a good shot, maybe push them out of cover. They are strategic maneuvers. They are not outright better than attacking. Do you think you will do more videos in the Show This to Your Players series? Yes. Eventually. Right now, the reason I started making those videos, the Show This to Your Players before you play Abomination Vaults, the reason I made that is because I had just finished covering all of the beginner and intermediate content I figured was worth covering in Pathfinder 2e, and I was going to move on to the adventures themselves. And then the OGL happened, and 200,000 new people decided to start playing PF2, and I don't want to make them watch my old, crummy 3-year-old videos where I'm cringy and not enjoyable to watch at all. So I'm going to be remaking in a new way. They're still going to be worth watching for new and old viewers alike, but I've got a lot of content I want to remake to make it work and make it better. For example, I'm going to be going back and remaking my beginner's guides for all the classes. A guide to level 1 for every class. I want to do that. And yeah, I will eventually get to the Show This to Your Players more, but just probably not anytime soon, unfortunately. Any variant Guns and Gears rules? Is that Guns and... Oh, Game Mastery Guide rules. You like and don't like. Obviously, free archetype is great. I love dual class. I've never gotten to play it, but I love what dual class can do for your table. Otherwise, I want to love stamina, but it's just a flawed system. It doesn't work that well. It works well in Starfinder, does not work that well in Pathfinder 2e. Otherwise, you know what one I don't like? I like what it tried to do, but I hate its integration. The like 2 lists of 1 to 10 alignment chart. Are you like from 1 to 10 lawful chaotic and 1 to 10 good to evil? Oh, I'm a 3 lawful, 8 evil character. It was so weird and it was not useful for anybody. Talk sugar about Oracle for a bit. Resolve at 7? Wait, resolve? Is that like a class feature just for like fortitude saves? Resolve at 7. What does that mean? Resolve. Master will saves. Sure. They're good at will saves. So are monks. Yeah, they're not a bad class. There's nothing... I've never once said that the Oracle is a bad class. They are really good. Life Oracle is some of the most efficient healing in the entire game. If you want to make a pure and powerful heal bot, you cannot do better than a Life Oracle. But you have to be prepared to come with the confusing parts of the class along with it. But yeah, I just don't like them that much. I played one as an archetype, and I still was like, I wish I had just picked like Sorcerer. James Hewitt, Spell Strike only affects the target of the attack without the right feats. But what if the attack has AoE, like Scatter from a Dragon Mouth Pistol? Scatter still only has 1 target. If you read the trait of Scatter itself, it still references the target of your attack, and then creatures within the cone take damage. But those creatures are not your target. Does that make sense? Spell Strike will still only hit the target. Sorry, I played Cleric already. Is it correct in the reading of a sustain a spell action that a spellcaster can sustain 2 spells at the same time? If you can get them out, yes. Yes, you can sustain as many spells as you want, but they cost 1 action each. If you can find a way to somehow get 3 spell effects out there, on your turn can just be sustain, 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 turns over. Yeah, as long as you have the actions to keep them up, you can. One of my new players hated the Witch, are they right? If they don't like the Witch, yeah, they are. Maybe they misunderstood something and they didn't get the enjoyment out of it they could have, but if they understood what they were doing, yeah. You can't tell someone they're wrong for disliking something. Unless you're me, I'll tell you you're wrong all day long. How does someone who's played Pathfinder 2e before... How does someone who's played Pathfinder 2e before learn Pathfinder 2e? Like relearn it? Like you forgot the game? I'd say just play. Playing is the best way to learn, at least for me. I'm mainly a GM. How viable is a low magic campaign in PF2? Very. There's rules for it. People mention them in chat. There is like a low magic weapon and stuff. Automatic bonus progression we covered earlier is great for low magic. It's called Pathfinder now. Yo, thank you to Kumi and Devin. Already watched a lot of those old videos. Recommended for first adventure. Ooh. I always like to recommend Abomination Vault, but that one is very combat heavy, unless you specifically make it more roleplay. Let me see real quick. For a first adventure, it's tough. Abomination Vault is best if you're trying to learn the system. If you're strictly interested in learning the mechanics of how the game works, I think Abomination Vault is a great place to start. However, I have a slight bit unpopular opinion. I don't think anyone's going to see this coming. I highly recommend the Slithering. The Slithering is an excellent adventure. The only issue is that it starts at 5th level. So, like, the biggest complaint is that it starts at 5th level. But it has such a good balance of roleplay versus combat versus different types of combat that really make it helps you learn the game. It's not all oozes. It's not all oozes. There's a lot of oozes. It's not all oozes. Also, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's only a 1-book adventure. So, it's long enough that you can learn how to play the game. I guess I wouldn't recommend it for a first adventure. I'd recommend it for a second. Or maybe play a one-shot or two. It sounds like my mic, it's going through my webcam, not my mic. It might just be because I'm so far away, but I'll check. Oh my god.
That's so cool.
Are you kidding me?
I hear that Rise
Chat, did nobody tell me?
If true,
Hold on, wait.
That's so cool.
Wait.
In D&D
Am I crazy? I might be crazy.
Or versatile for weapons like whip.
Oh my god. Chat!
Can you improve a base weapon?
Are you kidding me? It's been an hour and a half! None of you told me my audio was garbage! Oh my god. You have a high quality webcam mic? Not that high quality. Oh my god. That's better. There we go. Oh my god. You just made it. Oh god. Didn't notice it. It was okay. Oh, mesmerized by the eyes. That's fair. My eyes were a little bit distracting. Oh my god. No, I unplugged it the other day to play It Takes Two with Mora. I just forgot to plug it back in. Oh, not just this stream. Wait, not just this stream? Last stream? Are you serious? Cooperative Waffles, I already did. Please don't spam in the chat. Oh my golly. My goodness. You know what? No, I'm punishing you, chat. I'm punishing you for not telling me. Enjoy this ad. Boom! Got him! Except for the 200 of you that have an ad blocker. I win.
That's so cool.
How to like PF2E after a 1-year-long bad experience.
So, did any of you actually get an ad? I'm actually really curious because, like, oh, his dog. Oh, his dog. This is dog. Look at dog. She's seeping. Oh. I'm sorry, we were talking about you. Anyway. Okay, you did get an ad, cool. Because I've always gotten mixed messages on whether people got ads or not. I know if you have an ad blocker, you obviously don't, but I've heard from people who don't have an ad blocker that they still got ads. I hear that Rise of the Rune Lords is the best official AP. If true, is it worth the effort to convert to 2E? They probably will at some point. You have YouTube Premium, yeah. They probably will at some point just because of how popular it was. Especially, I think, since Kingmaker... I think Kingmaker sold really well. They will probably put in the effort to make it for PF2. On the other hand, people already have been. People have been converting Rise of the Rune Lords themselves. And it might get to the point where Paizo might never do it because it's already been done. And if they release an official version, it sort of undoes all the work the community did. So, and parts of our eyes have aged really poorly. Woof. Best AP is a matter of opinion. My personal favorite is Strange Aeons. I think it's way better than Rise of the Fuckery. What does that mean? How's the length of the adventure paths compared to 5e adventures? So, Marcelo, there are 3 different lengths of adventures. Let me show you. There are 3 different lengths of adventures. This one, and unfortunately I don't have the rest of this one, but I'll still pull it out. So, there are 3 different lengths of adventure. Whoa! $25 donut. Holy cow. I will definitely get the rest of those super chats. I just really liked this question. So, the first is your typical... Where'd it go? I'm stupid. There it is. Or sorry, there's actually 4 types of adventures, technically. The first one
is ones that don't even sell physical copies. The first one is, they're typically called scenarios or bounties. Those are like 1, maybe 2 or 3 sessions each. A great example of this is the Sundering Waves, I believe. Sundering Waves, Sundering Tide, one of those. The next one, thank you all for the generous donations today, my god. The next one is something like Malevolence. This is the entire campaign. It is made for 3 levels. This is a level, I think, 3rd and 4th and 5th level characters, I believe. I believe it ends at level 5. Yeah, and it's just 3 chapters. The characters level up once per chapter, and it's done the entire, that's the whole book. The next one, check Twitter. I can't, I'm streaming. Sundered Waves, thank you. The next longest one is something like Abomination Vaults. There's 2, I believe, like this right now. Maybe 3. These are 10-level adventures. Abomination Vault is for levels 1 to 10. There are 3 books. First one's 1 to 4. Next one's 4 to 7. After that, 7 to 10. And then you're done. 1.0a is not deauthorized? Are you serious? Oh my god. I mean, that's good. That's the best outcome. We'll see. Thank you, Rick, for the makeup. Yeah, well, then there's Kingmaker, but then if you are looking for like a year-plus long campaign, you're looking for the full-length adventure paths, like Strength of Thousands. These are all part of the same adventure, and they are released monthly. From part 1 to part 2 to part 3 to part 4, all the way to part 6. They are always 6 parts. They take you from level 1 all the way to level 20, and they release one every single year. So those are your options for adventure path lengths. You can do 1 session, you can do like 10 sessions, you could do like 30, 40 sessions maybe, or you can do like 100 sessions. So I want to catch up on Super Chats, and if I get caught up on Super Chats, maybe we'll check out the OGL stuff. Which means if you don't want OGL stuff, keep Super Chatting. In 5e, you need Jericho. In 5e, you need high dexterity or versatile for weapons like whips. How does it work for 2e, and can you improve a... Oh my god, Travis with another $50 bomb! My goodness! Something like Corey up in here. Holy cow. Oh my god! Oh my god! Slow down! Slow down! Oh boy. Let me catch up here. Money's flowing, right? I guess I'm ordering out for dinner tonight. Don't slow down! Oh my god! Oh god, y'all are paying my rent tonight, and I appreciate that. You know what? How much are we up to here? How much are we up to? We are currently at $530. I'm going to stream for at least another hour or 2. I'm trying to think of the nice balance between fair, but not overly generous, because I have a habit of undervaluing myself. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't undervalue myself. We're at $550. If we hit $700 by the end of the stream, I will make a Starfinder video of the community's choice. I will make a new Starfinder class guide of the community's choice if we hit $700 in this stream. And also, welcome Thorn, Cooperative Waffles. Yo, Cooperative Waffles got a freaking membership. Langard, Brian, and Tristan, welcome to the party. Yo, freaking people are going mad. I need to catch up on Super Chats. Oh my god. Oh, I missed Devin. Devin, I missed you. I'm so sorry. Our group is ending our D&D campaign next week and starting PF2E. Any things to watch out for in the transition? I'm going to turn this down. I'm going to make it so it still pops up on screen, but I'm going to mute the music and in turn mute the donations. Okay. My group is ending our D&D campaign next week and starting PF2. Any things to watch out for in the transition? A lot of things are going to be similar, but different. Don't assume just because something exists in D&D that it works the same way in PF2. And at the same time, don't let that frustrate you. It's very easy to get frustrated by something just... Can you get out of the way, member? Excuse me? I'm trying to talk. Go away. Shoo. Thank you. Yeah, just don't let it frustrate you. I'm going over here. Don't let it frustrate you just because it's different. Embrace it. Embrace it being different. And always push through. And if something doesn't seem to make sense to you, always remember you have the freedom to change it. So, in D&D 5e, you need high dexterity or versatile for weapons like whips. How does it work for 2e? In Pathfinder 2e, and this is actually a big community complaint for some people, all weapons use strength. Now, all weapons use strength, but you can use dexterity, but all weapons use strength for damage. Even if you're using a whip, it is strength to damage unless you are a specific rogue subclass. So, honestly, a big issue people have with the system is that it's a little bit harder to make a character with 10 strength, 18 dex that's not a thief. Because then your damage is way lower. Not way lower, it's like 3 or 4 lower, which does add up. But no, you don't need high dexterity for any of those weapons at all. Can you improve a base weapon? Yes, you can inscribe runes to give it bonuses to attack, bonus damage dice on damage, and bonus effects. Holy cow, you guys are freaking generous as hell. Chris, how to like PF2E after a 1-year long bad experience? Try a different group. Or if it was just 1 or 2 problem players, try to play without them. I have never once played a game system, whether it's any of the D&D editions, thing like Fate, Call of Cthulhu, any of those. Any bad experiences I've ever had with TTRPGs were from the players, not the game. I would argue every tabletop RPG, no matter how simple or complex, is incredibly fun. But because it is a social game, it 90% depends on the people you're playing with. Sloth Monster with $25. No question, just a thank you for the informative yet easily... You can't hit me with these nice donations! I'm never ready! Yet easily digestible content. Campaign change from 5e to PF2. Going from 5e level 8 Rogue Blood Hunter to Pathfinder level 8 Rogue Ranger with Shadowcaster Dancer. Oh, that's gonna be cool. Yo, Rogue Ranger, are you going Flurry? Are you going Flurry Ranger for just that sneak attack, sneak attack, sneak attack, sneak attack? Because that would be insane. Travis. Only just got to Travis. How much to donate to convince you to try one more... Oh, yeah, we already talked about that one. Longtime fan, love the content. Thanks for letting us all harass you each week. PPS, seems like there's breaking news on the OGL. Yeah, we'll check that out once we get caught up here. Ooh, something I haven't... You know what? God, we've made even more than I thought. Chat revenue doesn't include members. I see 31 new members. That's at least $32 extra. So I'll keep that in mind as we approach 700. Holy cow, y'all are insane. Everyone super chat something nice. Damn it, Devin. Donald Dids. What's up, Did? Sorry, you probably get that every day. I'm so sorry. Any chance that you are considering future videos detailing specific character builds, detailing feats, skills, spells, etc.? Yes. So I actually made a video a long time ago, probably 2.5 years now. Maybe just 2 years. But it was a build going over all of the different ways you can build a fighter. All the different build paths, all the different feat selections. And it was about a 30-minute video going over 6 or 7 different builds. And I want to do that again. I actually wrote and recorded one for the Ranger, but I had to scrap it. A, because I wasn't happy with how it turned out, and B, because everything exploded. So yes, I want to bring that back. But because of all the new players to PF2, it's probably going to be a while as I go back and recover simple, basic stuff so that everyone understands the game. I don't want to start making hyper-specified videos when what the community needs right now is introductory videos. Zelibrius, do you use pawns, and if so, how do you organize them? I just bought the Bestiary pawn box and is going to figure out what I'm going to do with them to make them accessible. I don't use pawns, unfortunately, but if I had to recommend... Are those the little like cardboard flat ones? If the little cardboard flat ones, I would recommend actually getting like a trading card game folder, and I bet you could slide individual pawns into each of the card slots and maybe make each page a different type of monster or alphabetical, whichever one's easier for your brain. Otherwise, yeah, maybe small little boxes. You could get one of those drawer sets, like the plastic drawer that's made for like nails and screws. and just slide those out. And each one has a different type of monster in it. Like this is kobolds, this is goblins, this is ogres, etc. Could be fun. So many. Oh, it didn't mute my things. Maybe it did. I don't know. Have you ever messed around with Chat GPT AI? It doesn't know 2e Pathfinder, but it can crank out better 5e classes than 1c. I've never tried it. I have been curious. I've never gotten in, but AI also kind of wigs me out just a little bit. Oh, thank you for the Pennywise. It wigs me out just a little bit. I don't know how much I trust it, but also it is intriguing. I would be interested to see what it comes out with. But so far, no, I have not been able to. Because every time I've gone in, it's like, nope, there's no room right now. I'm running Fistful of Flowers, Oberon. In a few weeks is my first game. I know you... Guys, slow down! Okay, don't actually slow down. I love this. But also, wow, y'all are insane today. Are we past? Yeah, that's 700. All right. Remind me, Diva Dragon, keep me honest. After the stream, I need to put out a community post that frickin' asks for a Starfinder class to cover. Damn. All right, then. I know you are not an AP type of GM, but do you have one you would recommend for a new GM? I think Fistful of Flowers is great. That's a one-shot, though, I think. A simple one for the GM to run is Abomination Vaults. Because it's all mechanical, all the mechanics are right in front of you. 9 out of 10 stat blocks are right there. The other ones are on Archives of Nethys. It's really easy to run if you're not comfortable with roleplay yet, because the roleplay is optional. There's a town near the dungeon, but overall... it's very much dungeon crawl first with a town there if you want to roleplay. So I recommend Abomination Vaults for a new GM. Harjutapa for the eyeliner fund. Thank you. That $5 will get me another thing, a $5 CoverGirl eyeliner from the supermarket. Devin, did you hear about Paizo selling out of their 8-month stock of core rulebooks? Yes, I did. I loved it. Freaking Aaron retweeted it saying, we shouldn't have put them on sale. Yeah, no, that was wild for just Paizo to just sell out of their stock. Amazing. Chase Street, a Starfinder video of our choice. How about this is how you do spaceship combat? Oh no, but I don't even know that. Spaceship combat is apparently insanely complicated in Starfinder. I've heard that's like the one thing people hate about Starfinder is the spaceship combat. Unless I'm thinking of something else. Unless I'm thinking like mechs, not spaceship, but I don't know. Question about the variant for your archetype. Can I choose a class archetype or only just a multi-class archetype? Class archetypes are actually separate from the free archetype variant. Class archetypes are only picked at level 1. They're a little confusing because they technically say level 2 on their dedication. But class archetypes are available right at character creation. Look into them a little bit more. They're a little bit weird. I don't recommend them for new players, but they're not something you take as you level up. Mike Bentley, just wanted to show you a little love for your hard work. Thank you. I'm going to go blush in a corner now. Thank you, Mike. Oh, boy. Draconic, just helping reach $700. Awesome content. I'm fine. Y'all are amazing. Devin, everyone super chat something nice. Go. Not Jonathan. Not Jonathan, you say. Hello, Mr. Nonat 20s. I just wanted to say that I am all new to Pathfinder 2e and I've never tried it before. What class should I play if I want to play the most advanced? So, this is going to be interesting, because I always say the Oracle is the most complicated class. I don't know if it's the most advanced. I do think Summoner is harder to play than Oracle. Oracle's harder to understand, but Summoner is harder to play optimally because of all the ways you can and need to distribute your actions, especially once you start getting tandem actions and choosing different feats. If you want the class with the most depth on what you can do on a given turn, go Summoner. Definitely Summoner, yeah. Anonymous, hey, did you know? Gaming. We love your content. I was confused there. Like, did you know Gaming? I love that channel. I haven't watched them in years, but I love them. And then Casey just dropping a $19.99 super chat. No message. Thank you, Casey. Anonymous, you are not helping the vampire memes with that eyeshadow. Look, just because I want to be beautiful doesn't mean I also want to suck blood. They're very separate cravings. Barry K, you should run a one-shot live stream game for all of us as a massive game. Yeah, all right, everybody roll initiative. There's 380 of you. All right, let me just put those in order. You're all going up against 380 level 1 goblins. with an average of 45, we'll say an average of 2 minutes per player turn. That would only be 750 minutes times 2 for the enemies, so why did my TV turn on? What the hell? Look. My dog sat on the remote. That was terrifying. Look, I'm sorry, Ka, if you want to watch TV, please wait till my stream is over. But yeah, 1,500 minutes per round. That's probably, God, that's almost 30 hours. It would take over 24 hours to get through one round of combat. I joined see you slaying. Hello, NAC. What's up? Good to see you. Jonathan, I highly recommend crafts storage organizers for ponds. I think that's what I was talking about. Yeah. So big recommendation. Devin, fishing tackle box. Ooh, that's clever. It's got the little walls, the little organizers. Getting the big brain here in chat today. Craig, super chat for the puppy kibble fund. There was a non-super chat question that deserves time. Talk about viability for non-magic healing options. Yo, you want to talk about non-magic healing? The Chirurgeon Alchemist subclass in the recent errata. For those of you who don't know, Paizo just released a rewrite of one of the Alchemist subclasses. This is a subclass that's devoted to healing. And originally, there were a few class features that were restricted for the Chirurgeon. They were not allowed to be used to make healing items. They can make like antidotes and stuff, but nothing that restored hit points. Well, now at the errata, the Chirurgeon can now make a butt ton of healing items per day, all non-magical because they're elixirs of life, and once you're level 7, on a whim, for 2 actions, you can pull a level 1 elixir of life out of your butt and give it to an ally or drink it yourself. You can only do this once per 10 minutes per character. So if you have a 5-person party, for 10 actions, that's the equivalent of about 30 in-game seconds, you can just give everyone like a little bit of a boost to hit points every 10 minutes. It's incredible. And then if you're not playing an alchemist, the medicine skill is borderline overpowered in Pathfinder 2e, but it works because it means you don't need a cleric. 2 things, treat wounds and battle medicine. Treat wounds is once per hour. You can roll a medicine check on a target. If you roll a 15 or higher, you restore 2d8 hit points to the target, 4d8 on a crit, and this amount of healing goes up with your medicine proficiency. Additionally, there's a skill feat called Battle Medicine, which lets you do this in combat for 1 action. You just slap someone with your healing prowess, and you treat wounds in 1 action. But you can only do that to each individual person once per day. Yeah, non-magical healing is crazy strong in Pathfinder. I forgot about the medic archetype. Yeah, and the Blessed One, which gives you lay on hands. But I think that's technically magic. Mr. Blawface, I'm going to babysit a puppy this weekend. What do I do? Pet it and snuggle it and put on a movie and get it some treats and a nice squeaky toy. But try to make sure the toy is not made of flimsy cloth. Either get a really hardcore, like, if you ever see one that looks like this, these are fantastic. These are some insanely durable, high-quality toys that really don't rip easily. The problem, especially with puppies, is if it's a light fabric, then they will start ripping tiny little threads out, sort of like this one, but they'll come out really easily, and they'll swallow them, and they'll be in their poop, and it's not good. But did another donation just to say the eyeshadow isn't helping? Rude. Look, I'm beautiful. Just let me be beautiful. I don't have to be a soulless vampire. Adam, you don't want to interrupt your flow. Keep up the good work. No, you're not interrupting anything, Adam. You're just buying me sushi later, and I appreciate it. Devin, again, your videos are the best for learning about Pathfinder 2e. Thank you. I'm not allowed to say that myself, because that's really rude and not nice to say about other people. But that's really nice to hear it. Thank you. Kite the Twin Blade, $5. Books are sold out. Where can I find a lore overview? Books seem to only be mechanics. I need setting details. I mean, yeah, normally... So there is a Pathfinder wiki. There is a Pathfinder wiki which can give you some very entry-level lore. But if you want the really fine stuff, you're going to need stuff from what's called the Lost Omens line. For example... a great one to start with. A fantastic book. If you're looking for like the closest parallel to something like Baldur's Gate or Waterdeep, Absalom. Absalom is such a great lore book. There's some mechanics in here, but this is like lore. This is all freaking lore. I'd say 80%. You know, just, oh, you want to know about the Shadow War? I don't know what the Shadow War is, but it's in here. Yeah, this is all about one city. This is about one city in the world of Galarian, Absalom. It's the biggest city. It's the city at the heart of the Inner Sea region. But it's amazing. Fantastic. You could run 50 campaigns in Absalom. Jonathan, chat plays Pathfinder. That would be fun. I have seen Blaine. I don't remember the full username, but they're a D&D YouTuber named Blaine. They've done that before, and it was actually pretty fun. I might do that sometime. Could be a blast. Reagan Wolfbane, or Rajan. I see the motivational beer has finally finished fermenting and is now being heavily consumed. Was that you? Was that you on Twitter who told me to ferment the motivation? Oh, I loved that message. That one made my day. I read that one when I was getting coffee, and it was great. Greg McCormick, 744, just a super chat, no message. Thank you. Chase Street, $5. Are there any great third-party things on Drive-Thru/Pathfinder Infinite that you would highly recommend? See, this is something I wish I had more knowledge of. The only third-party stuff I've worked on is the stuff that has sponsored me, because I just don't have time. Paizo releases so much content, and because I need to read it, digest it, play it, write a script for it, record it, edit it, and upload it, one official book lasts me like 4 months. And so by the time I'm ready to go out and to try some third-party stuff, another freaking book has come out, and I have to restart the entire process. I really remember liking Oracles Unleashed, I think it was called, or Oracles Plus. It was either Unleashed or Plus on Pathfinder Infinite. That was an awesome supplement for the Oracle. As for adventures, I don't think it's out yet, but Battlezoo is releasing Jewel of the Indigo Isle, and I've seen a little bit. I've talked to Stephen and Mark a bit. I've seen what's going on there. That is going to be a huge adventure, high freaking quality, insane. I just did the how I make a video dance. Is that what this is? Is this the how I make a video? Come on, guys, do the video. Super chat to say the eyeliner's definitely working. Thank you. I did not do a good job today, but I'm going to be 2 feet away from the camera on low light. They won't be able to tell. It's like if you get real close, you can see it's a little bit choppy. It's not a perfect, little smudged over here, but overall, I'm very happy with it. Travis, my God! Can you afford rent, Travis? For third-party suggestion, Frontiers Off Magic is amazing. I've never even heard of that. I'll have to look into that one. Straight Lace. New player coming from 5e. I've been learning a lot from your channel these past few weeks. Thanks for all the breakdowns. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Straight Lace. I'm hoping I can make some more introductory content. I've got a big introductory project planned. I don't want to spoil anything because it hasn't been finalized. There's a lot of work I want to do, but it'll hopefully be done within a month. Have to head to work. Thanks for the great content. Keep up the awesomeness and cute doggo. Thank you, Travis. My God, way too generous today. I really appreciate it. Thank you, and have a good rest of your workday. Tesare Alda, can you talk generally about crafting in PF2? I hear it actually exists, but is it useful? No. So, all right, let me take a step back here. Crafting in Pathfinder 2e was a risk. Let me explain how crafting works in Pathfinder 2e. Let's say you want to craft a greatsword. A greatsword in Pathfinder 2... I'm not even talking a magical greatsword. I'm talking a normal greatsword. A greatsword in Pathfinder 2e costs 2 gold pieces. So what do? You put up 1 gold piece. You spend 1 gold piece on the greatsword. Then you wait 4 in-game days that are spent primarily crafting. You need to be able to spend at least 8 hours a day crafting this greatsword. At the end of that 4th day, you roll a crafting check. If you fail, I think you need to wait another day and try again. If you crit fail, you lose it and it's gone. If you succeed, congratulations. You can pay the rest of the cost to make it. So you spent 4 days and succeeded a crafting check to buy a greatsword. But you're not done yet. If you don't want to pay the rest, you can spend additional days of downtime crafting. What this does is reduces the cost of that second half. It's so stupid and overcomplicated. You use the downtime earn income table, and once a day, you roll crafting for that table, and you reduce the remaining cost by like a silver per day. So if you spend like the extra 10 days crafting it, you can make it for half price, which means you spent 2 weeks making a greatsword for 1 gold instead of buying one for 2. So I don't like it. Yeah, obviously, it's more worth it for high-level stuff. The issue is that it is always 4 days. If you are making a batch of regular arrows, or you're making a level 20 Philosopher's Stone, it's always 4 days. Exactly 4 days. It sucks. But there is a new book coming out with new crafting rules that I haven't read yet, but I really, 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 really want to read it, because apparently they're way better. Jonathan, whoops, sent too fast, so didn't write about the Frontiers of Magic. It has a ton of archetypes, rules for playing a familiar with a master, the Shifter and Mesmerist class, and not magic, where all your spells are tricks. That sounds cool. Interesting. What's the best VTT for Pathfinder? Oh, eyeliner is bad? Sounds like someone's jealous. Best VTT for Pathfinder is absolutely Foundry. Foundry has so much community-created content and official content. You could play so much without ever spending a cent outside of just the GM buying Foundry. Foundry is just, there's no contest. Everybody uses Foundry. The things you can do with Foundry are nuts. But it also is very, very intimidating, and I still have not taken the jump to learn how it all works. I'm a player in a Foundry game, and that has been really, really nice. But I just do not personally like all the mechanical stuff it does as a GM. Eyeliner super good. Nonat, don't listen to the downers. I got you. Thank you. Holy cow. Got it. Can we talk about this issue? This issue of water tension? Because it's a big problem. I hate this. I hate water tension. It's not fair. Oh, boy. Question, does sneak attack trigger on an attack that makes the enemy flat-footed if it wasn't before? No. No, it does not. The target needs to be flat-footed to the attack to make sneak attack. If you attack them and then they become flat-footed, it is not sneak attack. Get a less crappy coaster, but it's pretty! I love this coaster! Look at it! It's a beautiful little butterfly dragon! I like it! Can you play as a vampiric spider dragon? Yeah, technically, if you play a Dhampir Anati Dragon Instinct Barbarian, yes, you can be a vampiric spider dragon. Easy. Pathfinder without Foundry, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's just basic math. I've even, I play Pathfinder with a lot of... I don't necessarily recommend it with Theater of the Mind. You need to be good at it. You need to understand the limitations of Theater of the Mind, but it still works. Sprinkle some salt and the coaster shouldn't stick. But then I'll have salt on my desk. Pathfinder without anything is good. Play PF2 on Google Sheets. Who cares? Yeah, Pathfinder's just good. It's damn good. Salami, I see you. I see you. Salami, I was gonna do one a while back. It was in the pipeline. I don't know if everyone remembers my my Call of Cthulhu character creation video. I made that one back in October or November, I think. Yeah, I was going to do a whole series of character creation in other systems. And because the Call of Cthulhu one bombed horribly, I never made it. Because it just showed my audience and the algorithm had no interest in anything that was not Pathfinder. It was brutal. It sucked. It kind of hurt a little bit. But I just had to suck it up and move on. Yeah, Roll20 it's fine. I prefer Owlbear Rodeo. over Roll20. I think it's simpler, easier to connect. You don't need to set up a campaign. I love Owlbear Rodeo. First PF2E ever for you tonight. Let's go! Maestro Bard. Gross. You can be friends with a Diva Dragon. Everyone knows I don't like bards, even though I'm going to play one this year. There's nothing wrong with bards. Does retrieving a spell material component use an action? No. No, it is specifically stated if you look at spell casting on like the wizard class entry. What was your username? John. If you look under the actual spell casting entry for something like a wizard, it explains that as part of the action for casting the spell, that includes the reaching and grabbing the material you need, assuming the pouch is like tied at your waist. Speaking of Call of Cthulhu 7th, how can you make a custom campaign? Seems really designed for only pre-writes. I love it anyway, though. Call of Cthulhu? Call of Cthulhu's really hard to write for. I've never even tried. I've only played pre-written. That is like the one system I use pre-writtens for, because it is intimidating otherwise. Yeah, I wish don't have any advice for you. My friend's been working on writing his own campaign. It's taken him 5 years. Like, it's a full, like, insanely huge campaign, but it's still taking him 5 years. There's so much. Because Call of Cthulhu is so investigative, you need to make sure you know everything that is going on at all times. You can't really improv Call of Cthulhu that well without risking spoiling or ruining a special twist or something. Convincing cosmic horror is very difficult. Exactly. Holy cow. Steal an investigative video game plot? That's true. You can always steal. That's absolutely fair. Like, you can make it so your players and, like, 12 other investigators are all trapped in, like, I don't know, like a school where they're not allowed to leave. And every week, there's, like, a murder. Because there's a promise that anyone who successfully murders someone and gets away with it in a court of law, they get to leave, and everyone else dies. This is just off the top of my head, like just an idea that, and you could steal and swipe for a campaign. You know, it's nothing big. I don't think it would ever sell. You know, I don't think anything that with that plot would ever work. Ever read about Dungeons the Dragoning 40k 7th edition? Okay, let's talk 40k. I want to play 40k as an RPG so bad. I want to play the Warhammer role-playing game system. That is also on my list. It's like 6th or 7th on the list, but it's still up there. God, I want to play a Warhammer tabletop role-playing game. I'm pretty sure there is one, and there's like rules for how you kill them. Oh, I know it's not 40k. I know it's you're writing a parody. But, 40k, the world of 40k is so stupid. I love it. The orc boys believing that they're going faster when you paint the ship red. It's great. I want the orc boys. I want to be an orc boy. I want a DACA. I want the maximum DACA. Look into Dark Heresy? Will do. How would an investigator fare on a Call of Cthulhu type campaign? Probably pretty well. Probably really well, honestly. A PF2 investigator? It would do great. Nah, not the Emperor. We gotta crump him. We gotta crump the Emperor. I'm a mushroom. Magus or Magus? Magus. Thank you, Justin, for the $5. You can say Magus till the cows come home. I'm still never gonna agree with you. It's Magus and Magi. Let me tell you, do you know how many hate comments I got? Not like sarcastic things like this. Like, hate comments on my Magus guide from people who are like, oh my god, you're so stupid. It's not Magus. How could you be this dumb to say Magus and not Majuiz? Like, holy cow. No, Justin, you did good. That is the correct way to do it. It is just so funny that people, they get to a point in their life where they're like, this is my fight today. No, this is my fight today. He said Magus instead of Magus. That'll show him. Mom, look what I did. Sorcerer versus Magus, which is more fun. Sorcerer is way more consistent. Magus is a lot more risk versus reward. If you want every combat to feel like a slot machine, play a Magus. If you want pretty reliable control of the battlefield, play a Sorcerer. Yeah, I say a lot of things different in a lot of ways too, honestly. Magus has them big dick numbers. You're not wrong. Even at level 1, if you're like a two-handed Magus with a D12 greatsword, you can D12 greatsword with a produce flame. If you happen to critical hit that son of a bitch, that's what? 2d12 plus 2d6 plus double strength plus double intelligence. If you got a 16 in both, that's 2d12 plus 2d6 plus 12. Disgusting! Yeah, Shocking Grasp is nasty. Oh, yeah. Yeah, what is max damage on a Shocking Grasp level 1 crit max damage on a Magus? Shocking Grasp is 2d12, which means if you critically hit with a Shocking Grasp Greatsword as a level 1 Magus, you're dealing 6d12 plus 12. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Are there AoE debuff spells for like an occult witch? Yes. Oh yeah, a lot of the witch's hexes that they come with, depending on your subclass, you get a unique hex. A lot of those are debuffing. Like Clinging Ice, I believe, lowers movement speed. Kieran for the $5. New to Pathfinder, liked all your videos. Moving into the lore of the world, where would you suggest I start? That's a hard one. Personally, I had the most fun learning about the deities. In learning about the deities, you often learn about the world itself. Otherwise, I would just open the core rulebook and look at the chapter called Inner Sea Region. It'll give you a very brief introduction to all of the major locations in the area. And from there, if you want to know more, there's a Pathfinder wiki, which has some limited knowledge. And then there's the Lost Omens books, like the one I mentioned before. Like, if you're looking for a parallel to D&D's Baldur's Gate or Waterdeep, Absalom is exactly that. This is a book about one city. This is one city in the world of Golarion. Any good YouTube channels for Pathfinder lore? I don't know. Maybe me. We'll see. Otherwise, there's not a lot of people covering lore right now. I need to. I have someone in chat here who is ready to help me write these videos, but I haven't sat down and done it yet. And I probably should. I think I'm going to do a test video at some point, see how it performs, see what people are into it, and decide from there. Hi, Diva. Hi. And hello, Anonymous. Boosting question. I'm converting from 5e to PF2 and noticed there's a difference in spell preparation. It seems like in PF2 you lose a lot of spells/slots because you have to prepare more complexly. If you are a prepared caster specifically, like a wizard or a cleric, yes, you will need to prepare specifically. Now, this is rules as written. You're free to play it like D&D 5e if you prefer. But rules as written, at level 1, you have 3 spell slots. If you know Magic Missile and Burning Hands, you need to specifically prepare each of those slots with one of those spells. You could do Magic Missile, Burning Hands, Burning Hands, Burning Hands, Burning Hands, Burning Hands, Magic Missile, Magic Missile, Magic Missile. But once you set it, that's how it's going to be. So there is more pressure put on preparing correctly rather than relying on the exact same list of spells every single day. Can you do Burning Jazz Hands if you're a bard? Bards don't get Burning Hands, never mind. Ooh, that's sad. Yo, Steven, just with a $20 super chat, no message? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, but let's see the message below. Which is better, Inventor with an Alchemist archetype or an Alchemist with the Inventor archetype? I'm going to say Inventor with the Alchemist archetype for 2 reasons. One, the Inventor archetype does not give you much. Inventors get 3 tiers of additions to put on their innovation. With the archetype, you only get 1. You will only ever get the level 1 benefit from being an inventor. Whereas with the Alchemist archetype gives you the ability to craft a bunch of different alchemical items every day for free. And once you get a certain feat, the level of items you can create starts growing with you. I believe you don't get it until like level 8 or 10, but that'll bump your crafting level up to 4 below your max level. So if you're level 12, you can still craft level 8 alchemical items. Whereas if you're level 12 or 14 with the Inventor archetype, you're not getting much else. So yeah, 100% I recommend Alchemist archetype over the Inventor archetype. What does the Inventor archetype even give? I remember it being really, really underwhelming. Like, Oh, that's not... I need the archetype. Give me the archetype. Archetype. The Inventor archetype at level 2 gives you the innovation, but no abilities that use it. At level 4, you can get expert in crafting. Woo! At level 6, you can use explosion. And at level 8, you get the level 1 modification. That's it. Aside from lower level class feats, that's all it gives you. Oof. Curse of Nonat is a decent conversion. What? One shot for LGS? LGS. Chat, help me so I don't look stupid. What does LGS mean? Last local games. Oh, one shot for your local game store? Oh, of course. I knew what that meant. If you're looking for a good one shot for your local game store, especially if you don't want to overwhelm someone, I really recommend Lions of Katapesh. It's a society. It's a scenario you can get. It's like $3, I think, for the PDF. Lions of Katapesh is a great one shot. There's also chat. What's the scenario? Sunken. It's the theater and the sewers. Sunken what? What's the sunken what? Help! And then other than that, Sundered Waves is good too, but that's not a level 1. God, what is it? It's not sunken sewage. It's not sunken pumpkin. I also recommend the beginner box, honestly. The only downside is you can't get the beginner box adventure without the beginner box. Sunken. Where do you buy a core rulebook these days? The physical ones are out of stock, but you can always buy a PDF. Does no one know this? God, you're gonna make me look it up. You're gonna go. See you later, Grim. Keep it real. Pathfinder 2E scenario sunken. Oh, is it not sunken? Uh-oh. What's it called? I've played it twice, and it's really fun. Flooded King's Court. Sorry, Flooded King's Court. It wasn't sunken, it was flooded. Roll for combat talking about me? What are they saying? 7 Secrets of the Academy? Huh. Yeah, Otari's good. All good things? Good to hear. Otherwise I'd have to have a word with Steven. Need a comically corporate adventure called Sunken Cost Fall. Oh boy, I'm sorry. Do I have any experience with this Pathfinder play? Pathfinder Society. I have not done it in over a year, but it is always fun. It is always a blast. Just jumping into Pathfinder Society for a scenario feels great. I've played it twice, 2 different one-shots with 2 different GMs, and it was fantastic. Pathfinder Society is great. The only thing I dislike about it is how slightly complicated it is to get started, because there's a few extra steps to character creation when it comes to Society. Honest Pathfinder character equals sorcerer? I can't agree with that. It's either Ezrin, the wizard, or Amiri, the barbarian. The only reason I don't directly say it's Amiri is because I don't like her 2nd edition design quite as much as her 1st edition. I liked her a lot more 1st edition. Which class is broken and which needs a buff in PF2? Fighter is not quite... Fighter is the closest thing to a broken class, and it's at best cracked. Like, it's just more accurate. That's it. It does less damage. And which one needs a buff? A month ago I would have said Alchemist, but I think they're good now. Which class needs a buff? It's really hard to say. They're all so well balanced. Like, I can't think of any class that if it got a buff would still be balanced. Oracle? No way Oracle needs a... No, there's no way Oracle needs a buff. Oracle does not need a buff. It's just complicated. It's not bad. Kind of frustrating that their items and feats that are Lost Omen exclusive don't really work outside their APs. Why not? You can use them. Gunslinger doesn't need a buff. What are you talking about, Nick? You got a critical hit with that Archivist at level 1. You're dealing like 40-12. Personally, I would pick Psychic as the... Oh, you're talking to someone else. Sorry, Diva. I thought you were talking to me. War Priest. Yes, War Priest. Thank you. War Priest needs help. It really, really needs help. I wish... guns need a buff? Why are they doing less damage than a crossbow? Because guns are entirely about hitting their mark. A crossbow is going to stick into you, it will need to be pulled out and will rupture something no matter where you hit. But if a bullet hits you on, like, it grazes your thigh, that's not going to do a lot of damage. That's why they have the deadly trait. So when you do hit your mark, the fatal trait. When you hit your mark, you not only get an extra D12 of damage, all your other damage dice also become D12s. Like, no, guns are great in PF2. They're just risky. Hottest heritage and why is it Ifrit? I can't think of the hottest heritage right now. That's too many to think about. You can't hit work crap with spells or with your weapon? For what? Oh, for War Priest. Yeah, it's hard. War Priests are worse fighters than every other martial class. They're worse spellcasters than every other spellcaster. And they don't even have the versatility of an alchemist, so they struggle. Like, yeah, you can buff yourself with heroism and stuff, and then maybe you're as good as, like, a fighter, but not great. Oh, hottest heritage is Gonzi. Thank you, Diva. Thank you, Diva, for reminding me. Yes, hottest heritage is Gonzi. Gonna talk about Wattson's latest post? Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, let's wrap the stream up by talking about, let's look at this Watsy post, and then I can edit this down into a video next week. Hell yeah. All right, let me go ahead and start recording here. Cool. So, where is this Wizards? Let's move over here. Hello. Let's go ahead and bring this down. Hold on, chat. I'm going to need you to get on my level. Thank you. I love this desk. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you, Mom, for the Christmas present. All right, Wizards D&D. Let's see. I want to make sure I have so much crap open here. Okay, nothing incriminating. Let's look at the D&D Shorts post. I mean, hey, this looks like enough. Over the past weeks, you, the community, have made your voices heard, and we've listened. We did it! OGL 1.0a will remain untouched, and the entire SRD 5.1 is now available under a Creative Commons license, which I will look at. Your feedback in the OGL 1.2 survey is already clear, and we are acting on it. 62% are satisfied with adding the SRD to Creative Commons, and those dissatisfied want more in the Creative Commons. 89% are dissatisfied with the deauthorizing of 1.0a. 88% do not want to publish content under 1.2. Cool. Good. Yeah, they understand it. They've realized. Good. Thank you for your continued dedication and love for Dungeons & Dragons. We're sorry for the pain we've caused to the community. At least an apology is something. We look forward to building what comes next with our players and creators. For those asking for the legal document, here is the direct link to the new 5.1 SRD with a Creative Commons preamble. And Ginny says, thank you. A lot of people have lost a lot of faith in the WotC brand this month, and it's going to be difficult to rebuild that, but this is a good first step. I agree, Ginny. That's a really good way to put it. I'm always happy to see someone, especially a creator with a pretty devoted fan base, not jump on a hate wagon. It's really nice, because it would be so easy for Ginny to have said, you've ruined it, though. Like, it's too, like, she could have easily said, it's too late, your apology means nothing, we're glad you changed it back, but we've lost faith forever. She could have easily said that, and thousands of people would have gone along with her. But it's really, I love to see the consciousness, the self-consciousness, not self-consciousness, but the self-awareness and the awareness of the situation at large to keep that level head. To say thank you, to say you fucked up, but maybe this isn't the end. Right? Yeah, no, at the end of the day, this is going to do a lot of good for a lot of different systems. It's doing a lot of good for Pathfinder. It's doing a lot of good for a lot of different things. What is this about? So there's all this. The live survey results are clear. You want OGL 1.0a. You want irrevocability. You like Creative Commons. The feedback is in such high volume and its direction is so plain that we're acting now. We are leaving 1.0a in place untouched. SRD 5.1 is available under a Creative Commons license. You choose which you prefer to use. Prefer? What's the difference? Like, why would we use is there a benefit to the Creative Commons versus just using 1.0? And there's still the question of, do we even need OGL 1.0? Creative Commons is more restrictive. Like, there's still the whole thought of, like, do we need it? Is it even required? Creative Commons isn't owned by WotC. That's fair. Okay. The Creative Commons license makes the content freely available for any use. We don't control that license and cannot alter or revoke it. Oh, excuse my... Oh, golly. It's open and irrevocable in a way that doesn't require you to take our word for it, and its openness means there's no need for a VTT policy. Placing the SRD under a Creative Commons license is a one-way door. There's no going back. Our goal here is to deliver on what you wanted. So what about the goals that drove us when we started this process? We wanted to protect the D&D play experience into the future. We still want to do that with your help. We're grateful that this community is passionate and active because we'll need your help protecting the games. Yeah, whatever, you love us. We wanted to limit the OGL to TTRPGs. With this new approach, we are setting that aside and counting on your choices to define the future of play. Okay? I like that sentence. I like that sentence a lot. That sentence to me reads as, we tried to defend you, and you've said, like, we've tried to protect you, but the overwhelming result was you don't need protecting, so we're going to let you go, which I think is good. I like that. Like, because I don't think we need protecting like this, and I'm glad they're saying that. Here's a PDF of SRD 5.1 with the Creative Commons license. By simply publishing it, we place it under an irrevocable Creative Commons license. We'll get it hosted in a more convenient place next week. It is important that we take this step now, so there's no question. We'll be closing the 1.2 survey now. Provided to you free of charge under the terms of the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License. You are free to use this content in any manner permitted by that license as long as you include the following attribution statement in your own work. Okay. Please do not include any other attribution regarding wizards other than that provided above. You may, however, include a statement on your work that it is compatible with 5th edition or 5e compatible. Okay, then. I guess that's it. Huh. Feels anticlimactic, no? Like, I guess it feels like Wizards, did they say not revocable? Should say irrevocable. I believe it's irrevocable under the Creative Commons attribution. But yeah, victory is never permanent, sure. And yeah, I like that. Victory is sometimes like that. The world doesn't end in the world doesn't end in an explosion, it ends in a whimper. Does that mean they can make their own new OGL for 1D&D when it's ready? That's possible. It's very possible they'll publish 1D&D without OGL 1.0, but it's also not likely because they want 1D&D to be backwards compatible with 5e. So they're going to use the SRD 5.1. Granted, they might use it with Creative Commons license or something, but I don't know. It's very possible we'll see something weird with 1D&D. I think people are going to be a lot more vigilant now. People learned a lot about the law. People learned a lot about, for lack of a better term, tabletop game politics. And honestly, it was really cool to see... I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something really profound and interesting, and it just... Remember, this all happened before. It's where Pathfinder 1 came from. Yes and no. Pathfinder 1 was a very different beast. Pathfinder 1 was made because of the mechanical differences. It wasn't directly the exact same as Wizards trying to take direct control. It was just Wizards saying, this is the way we're designing it, and Pathfinder saying, we don't want to design that game. Hasbro will go through the terms of service route to slowly implement the 2.0 changes desired. It's possible. Who knows? We'll see. Yeah, that's what's been great. People have given other games a shot. People have looked into other systems. And I think the publicity for everything has been incredible. It's been a blossoming of TTRPGs into the mainstream in a way that's much more tangible. You know, it's been one thing to be like, oh, look, Critical Role, it's that show. Oh, look, Stranger Things, it's that show. Oh, look at that D&D movie. But now it's out there that tabletop RPGs are something people do. It's a hobby. It's a huge lifestyle choice. And it's not just like Monopoly. It's not just a board game, you know? And I think the public is going to understand that now more than ever, which I think is really cool. I think that's a cool statement to end the video I eventually cut this into on. Still out Paizo 6 with Orc. Oh, yeah, Orc is definitely still happening. Orc is 100% still going to happen. There's no doubt in my mind. Apparently, the printer that Battlezoo, Paizo, and several other publishers use have had to do emergency prints on their books. That's great. That's such a good victory. I am curious how monetized 1D&D is going to be. Yeah, it's kind of scary. Like, what is going to happen with 1D&D and D&D Beyond, for that matter? This definitely saves the content creators. It saves the third-party publishers. It saves everybody. Oh, right, I'm just playing this. I forgot. It's fine. You got to see everything. You got to see how much money we made, which was freaking awesome. Y'all blew it out of the water. But it's not over, like people are saying. The next battle is going to be what Wizards tries to do with 1D&D and D&D Beyond, for that matter. But we'll fight that fight when the time comes. Hellbound
so
Johnny, thank you. I'm still
cool.
switching to PF2. Can you point me to a good rule set for
I'm still
flexible
switching to
casting similar to
PF2E.
5e?
Can you
Fancy
point me
casting is
to a
rub
good
for me.
rule set for
Isn't
flexible
there a variant rule
casting
for that?
similar to 5e? Vantion casting
There's
is
a
a rub
variant rule
for
for that,
me.
right? I forget. Ability score, alignment, deep features, magic item. No. It'd be in Secrets of Magic, I think. I want to say there was a Secrets of Magic rule that did exactly that. There's a feat for it. Yes, there's feats for it, but even that's limited. Where's Secrets of Magic? I see the Pathfinder Society thing about orc lawyers. I have not. Where's Secrets of Magic? Before Book of the Dead, Guns and Gears. There it is. It's the so there's the flexible spellcaster, but that's still technically Vancian. Spell slots is the thing that's Vancian. Cathartic magic, elementalism, flexible preparation, ley lines, pervasive magic, shadow magic. Thessalonian rune? No. Yeah, I think it is still all Vancian. Yeah, the Vancian is made that way for balance sake. But unfortunately, it is still just Vancian magic, which I'm a little sad about it, just because I like a mana system. I feel like a mana system would work well, like you get a certain number of spell points effectively. But Vancian just means spell slots. It's the I don't know why it's called Vancian. I don't know the origin, but it just means you have spell slots. Spell slots have levels. Higher level spell slots cast higher level spells. Is a grapple build better with Monk or Animal Instinct Barb? Barb will definitely do more damage even while grappling. Monk will probably be a little bit more diverse. If you build straight into grapple with a Barbarian, you won't be doing too much else, where a Monk might have more options. But the Barbarian will do more damage with it. Thank you to Maddie Ice. Thank you for all the hard work on Sinclair's. My party and I are super stoked for the books. Oh, me
Thank
too.
you for all the
It's
hard
been so
work on
fun
Sinclair's.
reacting
My party
to
and I are
the
super
playtest
stoked for the
live
books.
with y'all. Because again, I don't know if for those of you who don't know, just take another shot. I only wrote about maybe 5 to 10% of that book. We have a team of like 20 writers and freelancers who have worked on it. So a lot of it I've never seen. It goes through our editors. It goes through other writers for each individual thing. So I'm reacting to a lot of that for the first time myself. It's been super cool. Yeah, there's the flexible spell preparation. That's still technically Vancian. It's still spell slots. What is the actual definition of Vancian? What is the definition? A form of magic based on the existence of spells that must be prepared in advance for specific purposes and can be used a finite number of times. Yeah. So any kind of spell slot is Vancian. Spontaneous, like sorcerers and flexible casting, is like slightly different. It's more like an altered Vancian, but it's still Vancian. Jack Vance from the Eternal Champion series. Ah, cool. Build submission review videos. Those just wouldn't get the views, unfortunately. I'm still in a place where I'm still focused on getting the views that I can. Because unfortunately, as much as I'd like to say that as a YouTuber, I'm making, 7 figures and I'm living in a mansion, I would be lying. So I can cast 6 spells at level 5. If you use flexible spellcasting, yes. This is specifically for the flexible spellcasting variant rule. How many of us know about Vancian casting because of Actually? I need to go binge Actually. I would love that show. I have never seen it, and I really need to. I was about to start ending the stream, but then we got 2 more donations. Holy cow. Salami, any tips for using weather effects in your games? Pathfinder has weather stuff. It's right in the core rulebook, actually. If you go to game mastering, and I don't think this has chapters though, does it? No, it doesn't. Let me see. Weather 2e. Climate rules, page 517.
So cool.
The
Boom.
flexible or
Fog,
spontaneous
temperature,
is
precipitation,
what I want.
wind, moving in the
Which
wind,
book is
fatigue,
that?
visibility, different effects of different temperatures,
That's
natural
so
disasters. It's all right in the
cool.
core rulebook. This is something I need to
Any
use
tips
more.
for using
Like
weather
every
effects
eruptions,
in your
tsunamis,
games?
wildfires, sandstorms. There's information on all of it. I absolutely love it. I feel like a lot of people don't realize those pages are there. And then from Hellbound Johnny, the flexible or spontaneous is what I want. Which book is that? Flexible spellcasting is in Secrets of Magic. But spontaneous spellcasting is not an altered thing. Spontaneous spellcasters are things like bards, sorcerers, and oracles. That is just a different type of casting compared to classic wizard. But yeah, if you want the flexible spellcasting, that is in Secrets of Magic. Hi, good is why witch compared to other casters? Why is witch compared to other casters? It's fairly similar to the wizard. Same number of spells per day, well, not necessarily the same spell list. It functions a lot like a wizard that can choose their spell tradition. That's why it gets compared to wizard a lot. You see the alignment chart from the Shin Megami Tensei. There's a Shin Megami Tensei MMO. I'm tired. I read that as TTRPG. What do you think of having mythological examples on the range of law, chaos, good, and evil? I think those are some of the best things you can use as references, because those stories were written to be black and white. You know, the Minotaur was written as evil. Medusa was written as evil. Perseus was written as good. You can still expand those characters if you want to, but in their purest raw form, they're great examples of different types of alignment. Is there any difference in how magic editions feel? Absolutely. Occultism is full of different fancy conditions, some support spells, and some really weird magic. Divine is full of healing, positive and negative effects, and a lot of great support spells like heroism. Arcane is the most destructive with a lot of raw damage, elemental abilities, and a lot more AoE. And then Primal is a little bit of everything. Primal is some healing, some elemental, some destructive, some support. I would say Primal is probably the jack of all trades spell list. Yeah. I meant to ask if Witch is a good class. They're all good classes, yeah. Witch is awesome. Free familiar. Again, you can cast from any spell tradition at character creation. Bunch of different subclasses. Super cool. Oh yeah, Max, you actually just missed it. We were just covering the OGL stuff here, yeah. For a class system, PF2 seems very flexible. Oh yeah, you can make 50 fighters and they'll all be different. Maybe not 50 different ones. I don't know, with ancestries and backgrounds, yeah. Yeah, you can make 50 fighters. They'll all play completely differently with different weapons, different feats, different backgrounds, different ancestries, different everything. It's wild. Can a spontaneous caster with a prepared caster archetype charge it and use a staff in both ways? No. You can only use it one way or the other, and when you choose that, you can only use the spell slots of the appropriate class. DM on Roll20, would those character sheets be the best to use for my players, or is there a more convenient one online that's like D&D Beyond? Until the Demi plane is like, a lot of people recommend Path Builder. Path Builder is not perfect, but it does export and work pretty well. It's very, very sleek. What do you think is the best weapon for Magus and best Ancestry? Ugh, Ancestry's tough. An Orc Magus will always be good. If you're using free boosts, the new errata, any Ancestry works for Magus. Best weapon, I'm a sucker for a two-hander, but ranged is great too. Ranged is very safe. 2 actions to shoot a crossbow and a Scorching Ray within it. Incredible. Who's your favorite iconic and why is it a Miri? Good question. It's because she could break me. Path Builder no longer exports to Foundry. I know they need to update that. Can you run the adventure solo? Like by yourself or with one player and one game master? How do I adopt 5e stat blocks for Pathfinder? Oh, this has been asked like 3 or 4 times, and I always feel bad, but there is no magical formula, unfortunately. There's no magical formula for transferring a 5e stat block to Pathfinder 2e, because the math is just so different. You'd have to build it from the ground up. Are automatons immune to fatigue? I think so? I don't remember. They're immune to something. What are they immune to? They are immune to... You don't need to eat or drink. You don't need to sleep, but you still need a daily period of rest. They're not immune to fatigue, no. Nope. If they don't enter standby for at least 2 hours a day, they do become fatigued. Could you do a firearms magus? Yep. There is a subclass specifically for ranged weapons to spell strike. How would you rule on crafting a shield that can be healed like a wall of... Ooh! Like a living shield? I would do exactly that. I would say it's a shield that can be healed by effects with the healing trait. Like, yeah. That sounds freaking awesome, and I love it. I just want to double check this out for a second, but I gotta say your makeup is striking. Thank you, Candy. Appreciate it. 100% solo is going to be real hard. I don't think you can really play solo. By yourself, there's no real rules for it. These games are not designed for solo play. Someone was talking about that on your Discord yesterday. Solo play, really? Thank you, Wira. Well, I know you don't have the actual answer. Where's the Inquisitor class? I don't know. It might happen at this point. It's looking like they're bringing a lot of old ones back. I don't know, though. I wish I could give you a better answer. Maybe it'll come out in like a warfare style book, but I don't know. You asked about solo play too, Kelmir? I'm sorry. I wish I had more info. Like, at that point, you're just telling a story and rolling the dice yourself just to see what happens. Druid versus Cleric of Nature Domain, very different characters. Incredibly different. Cleric of Nature Domain is still using the Divine spell list, so they have completely different spell selections. Where's the Mesmerist? I don't know. Let's see. Demiplane Character Builder New Errata isn't just 2 free boosts, but also 3 plus a flaw. Oh, cool. That's good. What's the best class for a whip build? Probably Rogue. Rogue would be insane with a whip, because they get sneak attack, so they can make up for the low damage on the whip. If you're a thief, you're adding your dex to that damage too. Yeah, a rogue with a whip would be pretty baller. How does PF2 handle weather in the game? In D&D, it's pretty poorly handled. Oh, Kelmir, we were just talking about this, and I will bring it back up. Yeah, it's actually... Oh, it's been on the screen the whole time. Pathfinder handles weather. Like, there's different rules for everything. But yeah, weather can impose circumstance penalties on certain checks from -1 to -4 based on severity. If there's fog out there, people are going to take penalties to perception checks. If it's raining, douse flames, frozen, create area, or snow. Most forms of precipitation impose circumstance penalties on visual perception checks. Hail often is sparser. I'm surprised it doesn't say anything about ranged attacks, though. I would absolutely make a ranged attack penalty there. I do believe moving in the wind makes it harder to fly, not get knocked down. Nothing, really. There's no written rules about, interferes with ranged attacks such as arrows, imposing a circumstance penalty to attack rolls involving such weapons, and potentially making attacks with them impossible in powerful windstorms. So yeah, it's all on page 517 for the weather. Oh boy. Any third-party supplements you'd recommend? Sinclair's Library. Sinclair's Library is going to be coming out later this year. And then the other one would be the Battle Zoo Bestiary. If you're looking for more monsters for your game, Battle Zoo Bestiary for a third party. How viable are grappler builds? Incredible. Didn't they release a wrestler archetype? Didn't they, like, fairly recently release a wrestler archetype? Yeah. Yeah, in Grand Bazaar. It's, let me... Boink. Nope. Where is it? This one? Oh, nope. I can do this. Boop. And boop. Yeah, wrestler dedication. Your training in the wrestling arts has made you particularly adept at moving, striking, and grappling while unencumbered. You become an expert in athletics and gain the Titan Wrestler skill feat. You don't take a -2 circumstance penalty for making a lethal attack with your non-lethal unarmed attacks. In addition, you gain a +2 circumstance bonus to your Fortitude DC to resist attempts to grapple you and swallow you whole. It's got full stuff. I think it does have a suplex. Elbow breaker. You bend your opponent's bodies or limbs in agonizing positions that make it difficult for them to maintain their grip. Snagging strike. Yeah, literally suplex. One action. Flexing your entire body, you heave your opponent over your head and slam them into the ground. Make an unarmed melee strike against the creature you have grabbed. On a success, they land prone. On a crit success, they take 2d6 extra damage, and you release them. So good. So freaking good. I love that. Where did it go? This one? Yeah. I'll go back to full screen. Non-lethal traits rules are important. Tell us about them in your... Oh, gosh. In my dead, I've been streaming for 2.5 hours voice. All right, let me break down non-lethal for you. You see the non-lethal trait is on some weapons, and it means you do not take a penalty to deal non-lethal damage. See, if you deal non-lethal damage and reduce someone's hit points to 0, they fall unconscious, but they don't start dying. Thank you, Vanessa. They don't start dying. So instead of having a dying condition, they just stabilize instantly at 0 hit points. Now, if you're using something like a sword or something that doesn't have the non-lethal trait, you can still make a non-lethal attack to make sure you don't kill your target, but you do take a -2 to your attack roll, making you a little bit less accurate. Likewise, if something does have the non-lethal trait, you take a -2 penalty to make a lethal attack. So if you're not a monk, and you try to kill someone with this thumb, you would take a -2 to your attack roll. And there you go. Can undead creatures fall unconscious? Yes. At least Dhampir player characters can. I would say yes. Yes, they can. So for something like Stoked Flame Stance and the traits it has, does each strike mean it does both automatically or only on a critical strike? Traits like Sweep and Forceful always apply. Only critical specialization is on critical attacks. Everything else happens on every attack. Now some of them are only on future attacks, like Sweep gives you a +1 to hit if you attack a different target. Nonat one's ASMR. I'll just get like 3 other content creators and we'll do an ASMR one shot. Favorite monk stance? Probably monastic archery. Monastic archery is so freaking cool. Any tips on action economy when playing a magus? It's hard. Like, there's not a whole lot of ways around it. You are risking your whole turn when you spell strike. So don't spell strike if you don't think you need it, is my best advice, but also don't wait too long to spell strike. There is merit to waiting until you think you can end the fight with a spell strike. Like, rather than just using it every single other turn, save it for when you think you can kill an enemy, or open a fight with it. You know you'll be leaving yourself a little vulnerable, but if you think you can kill someone in one hit, you can instantly get the action economy in your favor. Any advantages to playing a War Priest compared to other martial classes? You have spells, but you're less accurate with your attacks. Does armor provide any penalty to spell casting in 2e? No, it does not. No, anyone can wear any armor, but remember, proficiency is important because proficiency adds your level to your armor class. If you are wearing something you're not proficient in, you don't get to add your level. So sure, your level 5 wizard can wear full plate, but if they have no proficiency in it, you're missing out on 5 or more armor class from it. War Priest is rough design. Do I have fish? I do actually have some frozen salmon in the freezer. Druid still doesn't like metal. Druid doesn't like metal, but some of them can use metal. Is it possible to play this game with simplified rules? Your best bet at that point, Candy, would be to use a different system. Maybe something like Fate Core. There's a lot of other simpler systems out there. There's a lot you can ignore. Like, you can play the entirety of PF2 with just the core rulebook. You don't need all the extra supplements. But if the general gist of the game does seem like too much, or you play it and you don't like it, there are tons of other systems out there. Don't freeze salmon if you can avoid it. Oh, it came frozen. I'm the kind of person who I want to eat healthy, but I know if I buy fresh salmon, it's gonna go bad in my fridge. I'm not gonna eat it that week. It's gonna go bad, and I won't get around to it. So I buy the frozen. I know it's not as good. It's not gonna taste as good, but at least I can make it later. Ask because the answer says it can't get fatigued, but it has the construct trait that says it. I don't know. I don't know the automatons that well. What is the best class for a blender? Blender? Like talking like someone like who attacks super duper fast? It's not monk. It's flurry ranger. Easy. I'll buy salmon the day I plan to use it. Yeah, I wish I did that more. Get out of my head. It's a really great system. Which system? Black Fox said something. Numenera. I've heard a lot of things about Numenera. More about having not to look up every detail while starting out. Improvising, Candy. There's nothing wrong with improvising. There is nothing at all wrong with improvising. If you don't know a rule, that is my number one advice. Improvise it and write down a note to look it up after the session. Who cares if that one time it's a little imbalanced? You learn after the session. It doesn't slow things down. That's, yeah, huge advice. Do I, as a GM, need to memorize conditions? No, not even a little bit. The only conditions worth memorizing are flat-footed, clumsy and enfeebled, maybe, and frightened, maybe sickened. Those 5 tops. Even then, like, sickened and enfeebled are still pretty rare. We did talk about it, Big Moon, yeah. At this point, we're just sort of like, we're slowing down. My voice is starting to go, so I'll probably call it here pretty soon. Yeah, if you have a DM screen, they'll be on there. It's a very good system. I made the suggestion in your Discord, actually, and gave a little description. Nice. How does take cover work when using a tower shield? It takes 2 actions. You get +4 AC and the reflex bonus. Does take cover give you a reflex bonus? It is 2 actions. 1 action to raise the shield and another one to take cover behind it. But I believe if you would have cover, yeah, you would get it to reflex saves. Taking cover in itself gives you a bonus to reflex saves. Does it? It does not give greater. Oh, it will. No, there's no way it gives greater cover. There's no way it gives greater cover, because that would be like a net +6 armor class. Sucks, roll for stealth. Who cares? I like it. Okay. Weird. Wait. Getting the higher bonus for a tower shield requires using the take cover action while the shield is raised. We're benefiting from cover. Otherwise, you gain the benefits of standard cover. Wait. This is weirdly worded, actually. Hold on. Can someone clarify this for me? The AC bonus of a tower shield becomes +4 while you take cover. But taking cover also gives you +2 armor class. And that's a circumstance bonus. Oh, no, duh. They're both circumstance bonuses. I'm stupid. I forgot the AC bonus of a tower shield is not an item bonus. Yeah, they're both circumstance. That's me being tired. If I had looked at that 2 hours ago, I probably would have gotten that instantly. Yeah, I'm done. I'm planning on making more this person as a class videos. Oh, God, I want to. I really do, but there's just no time right now. I have so many specific videos I need to cover, Dieter. Someday. Because, yeah, the one that I did for Jacob was really, really fun. I loved that one. It was so long ago now. Yeah, it gives you equivalent to greater cover. Yeah. Question: if new creatures enter the combat after one of the combatants is gone and called them from the neighboring room, can they act on the initiative in the same round or in the next? I think that's up to a GM. Some GMs will have them roll initiative and join as is appropriate. Others will just put them at the end of the round. I think putting them at the end of the round is typically a fair thing to do. Advice of an archery build: play a precision ranger or monastic archery rogue. There's a lot of ways you can go with it. The shield spell counts as a shield. You can take cover behind shields. Taking cover means you're also hidden. I don't think it works for taking cover. And I think you can only take cover behind a tower shield, not a normal shield. The shield spell does not count as a tower shield. Yeah, there's a lot of valid archer classes. Archer Magus, yep. Monastic archery rogue? No, monastic archery is only on a monk. Wait, did I say rogue? I'm so tired. Oh man, that might be the one to call it. That might be the one we call it on. Monastic archery rogue. I mean, hey, technically, if you took the monk archetype, you could get it. Oh, hi, Dad. All right, y'all. Sincerely, thank you. This stream was absolutely bonkers, and Chase capping it off with another $10 donation. Holy cow! I'm going to do exactly that, Rory. After I answer Chase's question. How do you feel about the crit hit fumble decks? I'm curious. People either love them or despise them. There is no in between. The new ones I don't think the PF2 ones have any instant death ones. They're usually like drop your weapon or take a condition or something like that. But overall, I love them. All my friends hate them. I think they are hilarious, especially when it happens to enemies. How do attacks of opportunity work in PF2 versus D&D? They are not automatic in PF2. Player characters need to get them from a class feat or feature. The only characters who start with attack of opportunity are fighters, and a monster only has attack of opportunity if it is listed on its stat block. It does have decapitation. Wow. Just got here. What'd you miss, Tabletop? A lot. I'm making a Starfinder video in the next week or two, apparently. Oh, man. Thank you all. Thank you all for all of your amazing support, all of your incredibly generous donations, and just hanging out. I'll probably do another one of these in maybe a month. It'll be fun to make this like a monthly Q&A live stream. I really love answering your questions. They start some great conversations, and it's always a blast. And Sethanol, I'm trying to end the stream. No question, just a thanks from a Paizo dev. Oh, I just yelled at Paizo. Uh-oh. Wait a second. If I yell at Paizo, does that mean they're going to end my stream early? Wait, please, I don't want to go.